The water on his head, he was so tilted, he was playing a bit bad, also getting unlucky.
Feels a little bit better.
I think Phil Gordon underestimated me. I think he thought he could run over me.
This guy's an amateur?
He took it pretty well. He was laughing and he was really nice to me, and that was a good memory.
Are you surprised at the growth of poker, how much you can win now?
Yeah, I was amazed. Back then, $50,000 felt a lot of money. The way poker has been growing has really been amazing, and I think it will be huge forever. I don't think that's going anywhere.
Why are the Finnish so good at poker?
Finns are really calm. They never tilt. Many of them don't have a big ego, but some Finns are known to drink and play. But they're very aggressive. They're smart. I think it's quite amazing how many Finnish players are in the top level comparing to the number of Finnish players in total. So.
Yeah. You seem pretty mild-mannered, so I'm wondering, what is it about extreme poker that caught your attention?
I was sponsored when we played in underwater poker. I won the very first underwater tournament. It was played 30 feet below. We had really heavy tips, and we played like half an hour, and we had oxygen for like 40 minutes. It felt quite amazing because I'd never did diving before that.
You nearly won a second title right here at the Aviation Club in Season 4. Describe the feeling of getting so close but coming short.
I usually take it pretty badly, ending up second, especially when I was 2-1 chip leader against Roland.
Roland can't believe his luck. Spike in the 5-2 pair.
All in.
I was really disappointed after the tournament. It was so close of getting the second title. Felt bad, but now it feels much nicer, of course. But at that moment, I was gutted.
Juha predicted a Scandinavian would make this final table in Paris, and he was right, as his fellow Finn Mikko Sundell and Swedish player Martin Jacobson both made the final 6. We'll be right back with more action from the Aviation Club in France, including Tony Dunst breaking down tonight's play when we return on the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com, right after this. Welcome back to the Grand Prix de Paris, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. It is now time to check in with Tony Dunst and see what he has to say in this edition of The Raw Deal.
While poker is no doubt a solo player game, modern final tables are increasingly becoming a group effort. For many years in poker's history, friends could be seated in the audience, but only decipher so much of the action from their vantage point. However, all the relevant details and information during final tables are often now available to many members of the audience, and it allows them to add valuable insight to the person they're supporting. Matt Waxman could hardly ask for a better panel with elite pro Jason Mercier and November 9er Phil Collins in his corner. Naturally, it seems like a pretty major advantage to have access to a collection of top-tier players to bounce thoughts off between hands.
Oh my God, I had 5 and 6 of clubs. That's 7 to 1. Oh yeah. I thought he had 7 outs.
You got it in pretty good.
I forgot about my own cards.
Previous final tablists have often made use of their gallery when they need cooler heads to prevail.
I'm all in for like 2.8.
Back in Season 6, Nick Schulman found himself facing a major coin flip immediately after running a failed bluff. Waiting to console him on the rail was WPT champion Eugene Kaczmarek.
Well, I'm trying to like outplay him. No, I like my river bet, by the way.
No, river bet's fine.
Who talked Nick down and back into a state of mind conducive to playing sharp poker. However, there is certainly some risk in applying the insights of those who have far less information than you do. Even highly devoted members of your entourage won't have near the focus and intensity of anyone on the table. And without being the one making the decisions, it's difficult to detect the flow of it all. Sometimes they may inadvertently provide inaccurate or detrimental advice that can be pretty harmful if you don't have a discerning filter. Last season, Phil Hellmuth was attempting to help his friend Mike Matisow at the final table with info about what he believed was a tell Alan Sternberg was giving off.
He was looking down and left. Whenever he was strong, he was looking down and left.
Yeah, but moments later, Matisow was eliminated when he curiously decided to shove 12 blinds over Alan's button raise with 9-2 offsuit.
I'm all in.
Based on what he thought he saw. Then again, I know it's a little unfair to pull out some obscure clip of Phil making a misread just to take the easy shot. Because hey, if it weren't for tells I hallucinated, I'd win them all too.
Well, there you see two of the best players in the world rooting Matt Waxman on, Jason Mercier and Phil Collins. But all I know is this. Forget the rail birds. They're on the rail. You're playing at the final table.
What a night for Matthew Waxman. Well out in front with 5.3. He's from Florida. He's only 26 years old. He's got to take on these two Frenchmen and take home a title here for America. All right, it's on Matthew right now. He's got the button. He's got the momentum. Blinds at 30 and 60,000. Let's take a look at Matthew's hand. Oh, wow, a good one.
He's got the goods.
Yeah, pair of jacks.
And he's made so many great plays at this final table without hands, yet it seems like he's had his share of cards as well, Vince. And let me tell you, when you're catching good and playing good, it's pretty much an unbeatable combination.
He makes it 120 to go. Frederic with just a 6 deuce. Looks uninterested, folds his hand. And Hugo has to say goodnight too, so that's going to be a quick one.
That's your cue. Yeah,
you don't always want that when you have a quality hand, though. You feel like you wanted to punish them for some more money, but not to be for Matthew.
Often you think Hugo Lemaire gets ID'd before he goes to a poker tournament.
So true. He looks about 12, but he's playing well. Very tough. This is his club, by the way. He's a big crowd favorite here tonight. All right, back to the play. Frederic now first to act, and he's going to look at an attractive king-queen of spades.
150.
He's going to make it with a raise. Looks like $160 to go.
Over to Hugo. He's going to get out.
And now Matthew.
Oh, and another giant hand for Matt Waxman. And that couldn't come at a better time. And he's got his opponent dominated.
D'accord.
Oh, what an exciting moment. What a big hand. How to play it properly.
I think for sure you're going to 3-bet with this hand, just a matter of how much. 3-bet meaning re-raise.
And here come the Plex.
These Plex are worth $100,000 each.
Yep, he's going to stick it out there, making it 410 to go.
I'm all in.
I call.
Well, all in and cold,
Whoa.
just that quick. And Vance, I really believe all the play of Matt Waxman prior to this hand led to this all-in bet by the Frenchman. He's just been bullying him around and bullying him around, and he can only take so much, as you know.
Well, you're right. The last one was an additional raise of about $2 million. So Frederic didn't have to call that, but maybe he feels something here. Maybe he feels lucky tonight.
And he was just trying to take the pot down. Didn't happen. As Matt picked up an ace-king, so he has him dominated. You can't get your money in much better than this.
Big opportunity for the American. Here's the flop.
Good flop for Matt Waxman. 7-4-3, 1 spade. So as the cards lie, the Frenchman has got to catch a queen to take the lead, or 2 running spades to make a flush to win the pot.
Yeah, he's a significant dog right now, but turn cards change things. Here it comes.
Well, if Jack comes off and it's a Jack of clubs, that takes an out away from the Frenchman. He can now not win the pot if the Queen of clubs comes off. So the Frenchman must catch 1 of 2 red queens to stay alive in this tournament. He needs a lucky lady, and she's got to be red, Vince.
Frederic Marjan needs a miracle. Can he get it?
Nope, the 6 of diamonds comes off. So that's going to do it from the amateur from Paris, 36-year-old Frederic Marjan, out in 3rd place.
Yeah. Tight all the way through, but then he opened up his game, seemed to work for a while, but he is out of there. He's going to take home over 213,000 euros.
He's also going to get the gold star for being the employee of the week for going to work every day this week.
Let's go see what he has to say.
I did some mistake. I'm pretty proud of what I've done during the week and today. All the players at the final table were great, and I think Hugo will have some difficulties to finish first. I will not bet on Hugo if I would have.
With Fred Marjan out in 3rd place, we're close to crowning the Season 10 Grand Prix de Paris champion. Will it be American Matt Waxman or Frenchman Hugo Lemaire, whose name will be added to the WPT Champions Cup? We'll be right back with Heads Up Action on the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com.
Club WPT VIP member Andy Whetstone made a WPT final table, and next time it could be you. Become a Club WPT VIP today for your chance to play on the World Poker Tour. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. As is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to Heads Up Play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money!
Voila! Out come the beautiful Royal Flush girls, Melly, Sanisa, Melissa, and Violet.
Well, as a poker player, this is what you dream about. Playing heads up for a WPT title and watching the beautiful Royal Flush girls dump the cold hard cash on the table. Now, folks, I know that looks like Monopoly money to you because it's colored, but that's real money. Those are euros, and the money is colored here in Europe.
And don't forget, our champion here tonight will have his name immortalized on the WPT Champions Cup. That's where the names of all the great WPT winners have been. They'll get a replica of that trophy to bring home with them, along with that 500,000 euros.
The winner also gets a seat into the WPT World Championship. That's a $25,000 entry.
Heads-up action between Matthew Waxman and Hugo Lumiere is about to get started here at the Grand Prix de Paris. During the break, Vince Van Patten made his way to the floor and spoke to both players. Here's what they had to say.
Hugo, how do you feel so far?
I feel good. It's amazing to be here in Heads Up. I don't have a lot of chips, but I believe in my chance.
Well, you pull off this miracle, you'd be the only player to win this event since the great David Benjamin. How would that feel?
That would be amazing. David Benjamin is a great player. That would be very good.
Matthew, you're about to go into heads-up action for a WPT title. How does it feel?
It feels great, Vince. You know, I've been waiting for this moment a long time, and it's finally here. I got a good lead. Feeling pretty good.
Well, you got a domination in chips at this point, but you're playing a Frenchman, and the French are going crazy out there. They're rooting for him. They don't want you to take this title. How do you feel about that? Can you take the heat?
Well, I mean, he definitely has the hometown advantage, but, you know, just the fact that I could be the first American to win this tournament is enough motivation.
Will it be American Matt Waxman or Frenchman Hugo Lumiere, whose name will be added to the WPT Champions Cup? Heads-up action is about to get started here at the Grand Prix de Paris. Play is ready to resume, so let's send it back down to Mike and Vince.
It's come down to two young pros, one from America, one from France. The current chip leader is Matt Waxman from Florida. He's up against a young pro out of Paris, France.
That's right, Hugo Lumiere, 24 years old. He plays at the club. He has a lot of friends here in Paris. The Frenchmen want their French guy to win. We will see. He's a big dog. Let's go to the table.
Matt Waxman starting out with nearly $8 million in chips. Hugo Lumiere with just over $1.4 million.
And the American looks down at a 9-8 with the button. He's first to act. Will he stay aggressive or will he change his game?
Well, there's your answer right there. He's reaching for raising chips with the 9 high. Makes it $120,000 to go.
Double the size of the blind, and it's going to work. Hugo releases that hand. Matt Waxman getting closer to the title. Not bad for a guy that learned how to play poker in study hall in school.
Well, Matt Waxman desperately wants to be the first American to win a WPT title right here in Paris. And obviously, Hugo Lumiere would like to be the first Frenchman since the legendary David Benjamin won here back in season 2.
Benjamin, kind of a folk hero here at the Aviation Club. And Hugo wants to follow in the footsteps.
Well, a lot of French players I respect say a lot of good things about this young pro. They say he's the real deal.
Raise.
Here he's raising it with a Queen 8 offsuit. 130,000.
And Matt Waxman looks down at a 9-8 of clubs.
Got the suited connectors you want to see a flop with. Obviously, he can well afford to make this call, and he does so.
Queen 8 up against 9-8. Here we go with the flop. And the flop drips in 2 clubs and a queen.
We can see a lot of action right here on the Champs-Élysées now. Waxman has flopped a flush draw. Hugo has flopped the top pair.
Yep, Matt's going to check it. Hugo with top pair, sticking a bet out there of 115,000 euros. How will the Floridian play this? Do you get super aggressive and just try to take it down with a 4 flush?
I feel certain Matt's going to check raise here.
All in?
No, he is going all in.
Yeah, he says all in, but he's not betting all his chips. He's betting all the chips that Hugo has in front of him.
About €1 million more. And of course he's going to call. We have a showdown here.
So here we go. Hugo in good shape to double up here and tighten this match up a bit.
Yep, his queen's out in front. Matthew Waxman with a big chance here. If he should catch, he'd be the first American to ever win Paris.
Jack of clubs?
He's getting very selective with this. Can't be too picky. Just get a club and end this thing.
Everybody on their feet here at the Aviation Club.
One of these guys becoming a very rich man. Could it be Matthew right now? Here comes the turn card.
Well, the 6 of hearts comes off.
American didn't get there yet.
Well, it gives him a straight throw, though. A 7 would win the pot for him now, as well as a club.
Sit.
Well, Matt asking for a set. That's 7 in French.
Matt has to sweat out one card. Hugo still out in front.
And there's a club. He has done it. Clubs have been lucky for the American. Twice at this final table, he made a club flush to win the 2 biggest pots of the night. Wow, what drama, what an ending. What fortune for Matt Waxman right there to make the club flush to take this title.
The young American is the first one ever to win the WPT title in France. Well done. He's going to take home 500,000 euros. Matthew Waxman is our champion.
I want a WPT.
I know now you got something that I don't, finally.
Yeah.
Well, a big effort by Hugo Lemaire. He's going to take home over 314,000 euros for his second place finish.
I played pretty tight. I think I played okay. I'm happy about my play and happy about the second place, even though it's really disappointing to get so close and to not win it. I want to win one, so I'll come back.
Congratulations. Thank you. Well done. Well done.
Well, we're with our champion, Matt Waxman. Matt, this is your 11th WPT event, your first final table. You came into this final table in 5th chip position. You told me before it started you felt like you were going to win it. You did it. Fantastic.
Feels amazing. You know, this is actually my 3rd cash in the WPT, so you know what they say. 3rd time's a charm, right?
Well, a charm it was indeed, and I have no doubts that your favorite suit now is what? Clubs.
Oh,
No,
clubs.
diamonds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He forgot already. He forgot already. All right, Matt, in addition to winning this title in over 700,000 US dollars, 500,000 euros, you get a seat in the WPT World Championship. That's a $25,000 entry where you can win millions more.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Probably one of the toughest tournaments in the world, so I'm looking forward to the competition.
History was made tonight at the Aviation Club here in France. Congratulations once again to Matthew Waxman, the Season 10 Grand Prix de Paris champion. Please join us next time as the WPT travels to Borgata in Atlantic City, where we expect a massive field of over 1,000 players to compete for the title. Until then, for Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, the Royal Flush Girls, and the entire WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Good night, or shall I say, bonne nuit.
The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
2 seasons ago, Borgata set a WPT record for entries. Last season, they broke that record, and this year, they shattered it. Now, 1,313 entries have come down to the final 6. In Atlantic City, who will survive the largest WPT in history? The Borgata Poker Open starts now, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing.
He is circling the drain.
They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He would love to knock this loudmouth out.
Borgata in Atlantic City. Every year, like clockwork, this beautiful resort and casino attracts hundreds of talented poker pros from around the world to their signature event, the Borgata Poker Open. But thanks to the determination of a huge local player base and a first-place prize of over $900,000, the established pros who flocked to this tournament found there's no safety in numbers.
So players, good luck to all of you. Enjoy your week, and let's shuffle up and deal.
460 players put up their $3,500 buy-in on day 1A, and in this re-entry tournament, any player who busted today could take a second shot on day 1B, meaning everyone was amped up to play, including reigning champion Dwight Pilgrim.
Everybody can win a title. It's all about defending. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be exciting, but back-to-back is what it's about.
Another player looking to add a second WPT title to his resume was Season 10 WPT champ Will Fiella.
He's here.
Will had just flown in from France, then was operating on no sleep, but still riding the momentum from his Legends of Poker victory as he continued to give the dealers instructions.
Nothing higher than a 5 dealer. Keep it low and red dealer.
And also continued to rake in pots.
Only in America.
Season 10 one to watch Ebony Kenny joined Will in getting off to a good start by eliminating a player early on. But other familiar faces would hit the rail, including Jeff Madsen, Kathy Liebert, and Brent Hanks. Across the room, New Jersey pro Darren Elias found himself in a great spot when he turned a straight versus Dwight Pilgrim's overpair. Darren check-raised Dwight all in, and Dwight made the call drawing dead and gracefully exited the table and left Darren adding to his chip stack.
It got me out today. I got another shot tomorrow.
In the heated atmosphere of this championship event, not all bust-outs were as cordial.
And I think this guy behind me is talking smack, actually, but
Maria Ho had words with the player who eliminated her.
You want to tell me it's a good check on the flop? Well, I'm never getting any money from you if I don't check the flop, so you're just lucky you hit a gutter. But if you have 20 bigs and you're just going to flat somebody before 3 hearts, you might as well shove. So, like, seriously. That's the truth, and you know it. I'm like angry. Like, who just talks crap after they bust somebody out?
Play wound down for the evening, and accumulating the big stack in the room was the goal, as the chip leader at the end of days 1A and 1B would receive a $5,000 bonus for the honor. When the dust cleared, it was local player Abraham Kuroki who had the top stack of the 228 remaining players. But on his heels were a talented group of players, including Vanessa Selbst, Darren Elias, and Season 10 WPT champ Will Fiella, who would have the day off tomorrow along with the rest of the Day 1A survivors, as a fresh group of players would take their shot at a place on the WPT Champions Cup on Day 1B. A huge field was expected to play on Day 1B, and the East Coast locals and professional players showed up to pack the Borgata with over 90 tables of play.
Today's a new day.
And while players such as Season 8 and 9 Borgata Poker Open champs Olivier Bousquet and Dwight Pilgrim were putting in the work to be in contention for a second WPT title at Borgata,
12 hours, one hand at a time.
Season 10 champ Will Fiella, who ended Day 1A fourth in chips, spent his time off with a little wager on the racquetball court with Vince Van Patten.
You are great, man. Great job, great match. We had fun.
But side wagers weren't limited to the racquetball court, as they were also taking place on the felt, as Kathy Liebert entered into a last longer bet with WPT champs Michael the Grinder Mizrahi and Chino Ream.
7-1.
How about you hunt your last 10 minutes?
You got it.
As the Royal Flush Girls ushered in the level changes, registration closed with 853 players for the day, bringing the total number of entrants to 1,313, making the Season 10 Borgata Poker Open the largest event in WPT history. And one player who has a bit of his own history at this tournament is David Williams.
Here at the Borgata, when I got second to Daniel, was pretty amazing moment for me, just for so many reasons. I call and end up heads up with him. One of the greatest moments of my life being at that table, and I wanted to win it so bad, but to lose to Daniel, who hadn't won the World Poker Tour yet, to get his first, someone I looked up to, I felt like he deserved it. You know, it was one of those moments where you could lose and still be happy, which is rare in poker.
Today, David was able to accumulate a large stack, and with a $5,000 bonus going to the end of the day chip leader, he played a prank on his buddy, the big stack in the room, pro Jeff Madsen. After hearing how many chips Jeff had, David texted Jeff telling him that he had more in his stack. So Jeff went to work to try to ensure that he was on top of the chip counts when the day ended, and credited David for the motivation. 524 players made it through the day, many making a good use of their re-entry, including Kathy Liebert, who won her last longer bet with Chino and the Grinder. And pro Jeff Madsen was able to finish the day as chip leader and collect the $5,000 bonus to go along with it. On day 2, the room went from empty to full as the 753 survivors from Day 1A and B combined to settle in for a long day of poker. And though he was starting the day with an average stack, the plan was simple for Florida player Maurice Hawkins.
I've been coming with the strategy of just try to get real lucky on somebody and then watch them in agony as they leave. That's my strategy today.
But the atmosphere in the room was tense as many players straddled the fine line between elimination and survival.
I don't like being called names. Hold. Yes!
There's no such thing as a good loser. I'm the worst. Could be the worst player of all time.
However, some players who thrive in this type of environment
I swear
are Legends of Poker champion Will Fiala and tough pro Vanessa Selbst. Vanessa got involved in a big hand and was able to get paid off by 2 East Coast locals when her flopped set improved to a full house on the turn. And after winning that huge pot, she then sent East Coast player Man Win to the rail, further boosting her stack.
I'm a huge luck box. I just make boats, and then everybody else has like trips or a straight or whatever is like slightly less than a boat, and I win big pots. It's an easy game.
Though the day did not go as easy for Kathy Liebert and ones to watch Maria Ho and Ebony Kenny as they were all eliminated on day 2. But Vanessa would have to watch out as former WPT world champion David Williams was hot on her trail, and she seemed to enjoy the challenge.
It's like a little friendly competition and see who's doing better. But I think he's the chip leader right now, so I guess it's time to catch him.
But no player in the room was able to catch David Williams as he finished the day as the overwhelming chip leader and shared what led to his success with WPT Live Updates hostess Jess Wellman.
You know, I'm able to put the fear in with these players, and they're laying down to me, and that's good. And I was making hands at the right moments and folding when I should and bluffing when I should. I mean, it was just a perfect day.
Yet David was not the only player to finish on a high note, as Maurice Hawkins employed skill as well as luck to amass the second largest stack in the room, and WPT champ Will Fiala remained focused on a second WPT title.
We mean business. There ain't no games this year.
170 players survived to play another day, including Champions Club members Cornel Simpan, Lee Markhold, and Yevgeny Timoshenko. But everyone was looking up at the stack of WPT world champ David Williams. The first of 3 hours of our extended coverage of the Season 10 Borgata Poker Open is just getting started, and we've got a lot going on, including new segments of WPT on the road, ones to watch, and the WPT Champions Cup moment. But first, does David Williams get another shot at a WPT championship at Borgata?
I want it bad. I mean, more than the money, I want this title.
Find out who makes it to the Borgata Poker Open final table in the largest event in WPT history when we return, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Welcome back to Season 10 of the World Poker Tour. We're in the middle of our expanded playdown coverage of the largest event in WPT history as we track the action leading up to this historic Borgata Poker Open final table.
On day 3, over 85% of the record-setting field of 1,313 entrants had been eliminated, leaving only 170 players remaining in contention for the Season 10 Borgata Poker Open title and a spot on the WPT Champions Cup. But before getting a title, players would have to survive to the top 100 spots to finish in the money, and the action was intense from the start. Past WPT finalist Fred Goldberg got the best of WPT World Champion Yevgeny Timoshenko in a hand, and it took fellow Florida player Maurice Hawkins to clue Fred in on who he had been tangling with.
You don't know who Timoshenko is? You got a problem. You don't watch poker. You don't know who Timoshenko is. That's like racing in NASCAR. You're like, who's Jeff Gordon? I don't know.
As the field continued to narrow, there were a lot of short stacks hanging on and hoping to survive the money bubble. And a huge hand was brewing between David Williams and Brit Mark Bramley, who had both made a big hand on the river. David moved all in with kings full and put Mark to the test, holding the nut straight. After long deliberation, Mark made the call and would find himself out one short of the money at Borgata.
I can't fold. I can fold to anybody but David does. You can have nothing. So if I'm good, I'm good. Never mind, next time.
After the money bubble burst, players were eliminated in a flurry, and the action did not slow down as Eric Haber was eliminated in 67th place, Jeff Madsen in 60th place, and WPT World Champ Yevgeny Timoshenko in 47th place. Following Yevgeny out the door was Maurice Hawkins, who got his last chips in with top pair top kicker against old school pro Miami John Cernudo's set of fours. that turned into quads on the river, and Maurice was busted in 44th place.
How do you call me, man?
How do you lie? He's got a good answer there, Maurice. He's got a good answer.
The Royal Flush Girls checked in on WPT champ Will Fiala, who spent the day chipping up.
Grinding, we're building a stack a little bit. It's going in the right direction, so hopefully we can make another final table and go back to back.
And Vanessa Selbst had hit a bump in the road and lost a large pot to young New Jersey pro Daniel Busgen, who was now sitting behind a mountain of chips. Meanwhile, Day 2 chip leader David Williams had fallen on tough times after losing big pots to Will Fiala, Borgata regular Matt Glantz, and finally to Vanessa Selbst, who ended David's run and dream of taking a Borgata Poker Open title. And after a few more eliminations, play ended for the evening, leaving 27 players still vying for their place on the WPT Champions Cup. Among the list of remaining players were Englishmen Ricky Hale, Fred Goldberg, Matt Glantz, Miami John Cernudo, Vanessa Selbst, and Daniel Busgen. The spotlight was shining on a familiar face as Season 10 champ Will Fiala would take the chip lead into Day 4 with a second WPT final table for the season in his sights.
See this right here? Now this don't suck.
Play moved to the Borgata Poker Room on Day 4, and all eyes were on Will the Thrill Fiala, chip leader entering the day, who was inching closer to a second WPT title in Season 10. But other players also had their eye on the title, and with over $922,000 going to the champion, players quickly started to fall under the pressure. But WPT finalist Fred Goldberg proved he was worthy of a second final table by mixing it up with Vanessa Selbst in a hand where Fred made quad aces on the river. And then with another big pot brewing between them, Vanessa moved in with a flush and straight draw.
I'm never folding, I call.
Fred called with a set of threes, and Vanessa's hand would not improve on the river as she was eliminated in 23rd place with her first cash in a WPT main event, but short of the goal of a WPT final table. Fred Goldberg, now on a roll, made a tough call on the flop with middle pair when East Coast local Ryan Arakezo check-raised all in with the nut flush draw. Fred's hand held, and he eliminated Ryan in 22nd place.
I usually play short stack all the time, so this is new territory for me.
Armed with the big stack, the cards kept coming to Fred as he picked up aces to eliminate old school pro Miami John Cernudo in 14th place.
And it was all good up until this minute.
Will the Thrill consoled his good buddy, explaining he would have made the same play
Right, WPT?
in that situation.
Now the dinosaurs are even coming to me for advice. You know that that's big trouble.
With players fighting for survival, it looked like high-stakes cash game pro Matt Glantz would double up, holding jacks against Englishman Ricky Hale's tens. But a 10 fell on the flop, and with no help on the turn and river, Matt's tournament run ended in 12th place. Pocket pairs would collide again as Jin Huang moved all in with pocket jacks versus Will Fiala's pocket queens. Will thought it out long and hard, and after the chips were counted down, Will made the call,
I call.
having Jin covered by one big blind.
Come on, what guy?
Will did not get his one time as Jin hit a jack on the flop and quads on the turn, leaving the WPT champ devastated as his shot at a second title was slipping away.
Not looking like destiny now, is it?
On the next hand, Will moved in with his last chips, but he could not beat young New Jersey pro Bobby Obuti's pocket eights.
Nice hand, nice hand.
And Will the Thrill's dream run at a second title this season would be cut short. However, in addition to the 11th place prize money, Will had secured his spot as point leader in the Season 10 WPT Player of the Year race.
Made a great call, and the chips went where they were supposed to go, that's all.
Armed with Will Fiala's chips, Jin Huang moved all in on the turn with a flush draw, putting another young New Jersey pro, Darren Elias, to the test with pocket queens. Darren eventually made a good call.
Wow, soul race.
And with no club on the river, Darren would double up to become a force in this tournament. But it was Bobby O'Booty's turn to go on a rush, as he would bust New York pro Kevin Colenso in 9th place and would then knock out Doug Kim in 7th place. After starting out with a record 1,313 entrants, the final 6 turned out to be 3 young pros out of New Jersey, going up against 3 businessmen who play poker on a part-time basis, all aiming to be the one with their name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup.
Now, Vince Van Patten was not able to be here tonight, so sitting in alongside Mike Sexton is no stranger to the poker world, my friend, Ali Najad. Welcome to the team, Ali.
Thank you, Kimberly. I just want to apologize to everybody in advance. I know you're accustomed to a lot better hair than this.
It's okay. We won't hold that against you, but just don't try to compete with Vince's hair.
Won't.
Okay, so let's jump right into this. What do you make of tonight's final table?
Well, looking out there, I see 3 guys in particular who made some fantastic decisions. The first of them, on the short stack, Jin Hwang from South Korea. He got in on a $350 satellite. He's parlayed his way into a shot at least $186,000. Then you got Ricky Hale, who's on a 2-week vacation with his wife from London. Had his seat in here on just $100 in a satellite. That's about 9 pounds, I think, at the current exchange rate. And then you move on, you got Daniel Busgin.
Daniel is only here because he had the good sense to plop down another $3,500 on a re-entry in day 1B after going bust in day 1A.
Now he's got his shot at the goods.
All right, Mike, who are your picks?
Well, Kimberly, certainly the 3 chip leaders at this table are going to be the favorites and the guys to beat tonight. Starting out in 3rd chip position with $7.7 million in chips is Darren Elias. He's a 24-year-old poker pro out of Montclair, New Jersey. In 2nd chip position with $11.1 million in chips is another 24-year-old poker pro out of New Jersey. That'd be Bobby O'Booty. Our chip leader tonight is Fred Goldberg from Hollywood, Florida. Fred's a tough player. He's got a World Series of Poker bracelet to his credit, and he's the only player at this table to have made a final table before on the WPT. And Kimberly, I'll be very surprised if one of our 3 chip leaders don't take the title tonight.
I got to agree with you. Fred is looking good tonight. All right, just before the players took their seats, we grabbed a quick word with chip leader Fred Goldberg.
I'm very emotional. I lost my mom at the beginning of the year, and I just had a new baby, so it's been an emotional year. So I'm going to bring this and hopefully can feed off of that energy and make it to the top. I was playing very tight yesterday, even though I got some big hands. They saw all my showdowns, so might be pretty aggressive today. I really want to win this trophy for my daughter, so it'll be nice.
These 6 have come so far, but only one can complete this journey and emerge as WPT champion. The battle begins when the final table of the Season 10 Borgata Poker Open begins right after this.
As a Club WPT VIP, you get exclusive inside access to the WPT and can play for your share of more than $100,000 in monthly cash and prizes, including WPT seats. Check out ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, where tonight we're in Atlantic City and just moments away from the start of the final table of the Borgata Poker Open. Now, Vince Van Patten couldn't be with us tonight, but sitting in for Vince is someone well known in the poker world, Ali Najad. Ali, great to be working with you tonight.
Likewise, Mike. And I want to say, when we say Vince couldn't be here with us tonight, if I know him, he's in a tennis resort somewhere sipping Mai Tais in a Tommy Bahama shirt. But some of us, Vince, have got to throw a suit on and get down to business. So why don't we send it over to our tournament director, Tab Duchateau, to kick things off.
Okay, the blinds are 80, 160, 20,000 ante. Shuffle up and deal.
So here we go. There you see the chip leaders. Fred Goldberg out in front with 11.4 million. Bobby O'Booty right behind him with 11.1.
Yeah, I like O'Booty, 24-year-old from Morris Plains, New Jersey. He actually plays with a bunch of Jersey guys, including Alan Berry, who's made a splash on the scene.
What I like is that first place prize of over $922,000. That's what they're playing for here tonight.
And let's not forget, of course, your name on the Champions Cup. That's forever.
Now, Ricky Hale from England. He's a builder there. He's going to lay this hand down.
Jin Hwang, convenience store owner from South Korea, 52 years old. He goes away as well.
Darren Elias out. Now we're over to our chip leader on the button, Fred Goldberg. He's going out, so it's a battle of the blinds here. I'll be 24 years old from Morris Plains, New Jersey.
You'd think O'Booty was in construction, too. Look at that stack. It's impressive. Looks sturdy, Mike.
Well, he's going to limp in and make the call out of the small blind.
Daniel with ace-5.
Daniel Buskin's a 26-year-old pro out of Marlton, New Jersey. and just knocks the table, does not raise with the ace high.
He probably could have taken that pot down pre-flop by just rattling his chips.
Now flop comes Jack 9-4. So Bobby's outflopped him. He's got bottom pair, and he is going to bet.
Bottom pair and some heart.
That makes the min bet of 160,000. You must always bet at least the size of the big blind.
And that's going to be enough to take down the first pot of the night.
Well, they're booing because his name is Booty, so we're going to hear a lot of that tonight. Ali, as you know, he's got a lot of fans and friends in the house tonight rooting him on.
And Bobby wanted me to say hello to his mother, Goli, and his dad, Reza, who couldn't be here tonight.
I get the feeling Mom and Dad might not have blended in with that peanut gallery all too well.
You got to love this guy's look, you know, the backward hat on, that young, cocky, raising confidence that these guys have.
Yeah, he's not worried about what he looks like. He's focused on the game.
Well, Darren Elias goes out. Action over to Fred Goldberg. Going to raise it up here.
Fred's made it 350,000 with the queen 9 offsuit here.
Bobby going out. Buzzkin out as well. Ricky Hale going out.
Fred's got a customer mic, King Jack offsuit for Jin Wong, the convenience store owner.
Flop is ace 10-8.
Broadway draw for Jin, gut shot straight draw for Fred.
Jin has the best hand with King Jack, and it goes check, check. So Fred does not make the continuation bet. Now a deuce comes off. Again, Jin checks.
Wong taking a very passive approach to this hand, and it feels like Goldberg's going to know what to do with that information.
And he's going to say, if you don't want the pot, I'll go ahead and take it. And that's what he's doing as he bets 360,000. Jin goes out, so a nice bet there by Fred Goldberg.
Goldberg's injuries obviously not slowing him down. Understand he had a racquetball accident heading into this tournament.
Well, you just wonder if he was playing racquetball with Will the Thrill Fiala, our Legends of Poker champion, who is an amazing racquetball player.
I heard the doctor told Fred he can actually unwrap his hand, but Fred's thinking that the gauze might be lucky, and he's going to go ahead and stick to the wrap job.
He's handicapped a little bit, you know. He can't fire with both hands.
Right. Hasn't stopped him from firing 345,000 here with the King Jack.
Right under the gun. Bobby going out. Buzzkin out as well.
Ace-4 suited for the Englishman Ricky Hale.
Yeah, Ricky's a builder. Has been for 25 years. Got in this tournament on a $100 satellite.
That is not a bad parlay. And that is not a bad hand. Hard 16 for Jin Wong. Couple of snowmen.
He's on the short stack at this table.
I'm all in.
And he's going to ship it right here with the 2-8. I don't blame him.
Darren Elias has laid down, and it's back over to Goldberg.
Well, there you see Jin's son and friend watching him. Well, if Fred knew he had 2 overcards, he'd make the call.
All right, let's go.
And he has made it. And he's going to be happy to see that he's in a race situation. It's the 2 overcards versus the under pair. And Ali, as you know, if you want to win tournaments, you better win races.
Jin Wong with the slightest of edges heading to the flop. Make that a big edge, an 8. Right there, set of 8s for Jin.
Fred Goldberg's going to have to catch a running queen and a running 10 to win this pot.
10 queen, 10 queen, 10 queen.
Well, his brother knows he needs Broadway to win it.
No shortage of optimism in that camp. Oh!
They hit leg 1 right there as the queen comes off. And Jin says it is never easy. Geez, I can't believe this guy can win this pot if he catches a 10. So the deuce comes off. So Jin Wong doubling up there. A nice all-in bet with a 2-8 pays off for him.
Not how Fred Goldberg wanted to start his tournament. Still got 6 players left here in Atlantic City.
There's a quick break in the action, but we've got more to come, including a special 5 questions with poker-playing music mogul Irv Gotti. Stick around.
What, Gotti? That
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com.
Billy Drake, you are all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. You won a huge tournament to be here on ClubWPT.com. What makes playing on ClubWPT.com so attractive for you?
Well, because you're playing for prizes. You know, you're allowed to compete and not have to gamble.
We were all at a big party last night at the club here at the hotel, and you actually had the chance to walk the red carpet with Mike and Vince.
The highlight so far is doing the Arrange with Mike.
Yeah.
We got to dance last night.
That man can dance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and he is a great dancer, so that was really a thrill for me.
There's some familiar faces here. There's some big-time pros. Anyone that you want to play with or you want to meet or learn from?
I want a picture with my daughter's favorite player.
My daughters are going to die of jealousy because she's all of our hero.
Billy Drake had a once-in-a-lifetime experience here at Borgata, but it could happen for you too. Now, for only $19.95 a month, you too can become a VIP member, enjoy great VIP benefits, play unlimited poker, and maybe, just maybe, find yourself winning a seat to a major WPT event just like Billy did. Now, we can't guarantee you'll end up dancing with Mike Sexton, but check out clubwpt.com for yourself and never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
And Allie, I got to tell you, our ClubWPT.com qualifier, Billy Drake, is quite a dancer herself.
She kept up with you, huh? I thought I saw some cuts in the rug on the way in here.
She did. She's very good. And there's the Royal Flush Girl Social Bar. And as a Club WPT VIP member, you can come to WPT events and enjoy preferential seating during final tables. Okay, let's get back to the action. Long going out.
Darren Elias, one of the original grinders, a well-respected online pro, has made the transition, and he likes the look of that suited connector, Mike.
Raises it up.
Goldberg out of the way and over to Bobby O'Booty.
Another tough young pro out of New Jersey looks at the ace-jack.
You get the feeling Bobby's not interested in a call, and sure enough, there's the 3-bet to 715,000. Daniel Buskin out of the way. Ricky Hale gone as well. Back over to Darren.
Look at this. He is not calling, Allie. He is coming back over with a 4-bet right over the top with just a 7 high. And believe me, if you're sitting in Bobby O'Booty's seat right now and the guy just 4-bet you and you're looking down at ace-jack offsuit, it just doesn't look like anything. Now, Bobby is going to let it go, but chalk that one up to a lot of heart there by Darren Elias. And one thing I know about him is that he has tremendous amount of respect from the young online players. I'm talking about Darren, very respected player.
Nice hand.
Wow. I guess to be successful, you just have to keep adapting, keep changing your game, because there's always new kids coming up, figuring out what's good. Like even now, there's probably some 16-year-old who's better than I am. Just have to stay sharp, keep playing, keep studying.
Nice call, kid.
Well, Darren studied creative writing at the University of Redlands, and I'll tell you what, Mike, he put together a pretty unconventional script in that last pot.
Well, I like what he said. You have to keep working on your game and getting better, or the young guns will surpass you.
Over to Bobby O'Booty.
Bobby going out.
Daniel Buskin, and he's going to put the 3-deuce suited to work here.
Ricky Hale going out.
Oh. Picks up a customer in Jin Wong with ace-7 suited.
Darren Elias with the ace-jack.
No heroics this time. He's content to just call a couple of $100,000, stay involved.
3-way action. Big pot brewing here.
1.2 million in the middle as we head to the flop.
I love the poker face of Darren Elias. Well, what a flop for Darren. Comes jack, 6 deuce. That top pair, top kicker. Jen checks.
That's the kind of board you dream of with ace-jack. Oh, and he's going to slip it to the pre-flop raiser. Give him a little rope. And he takes it, betting 560,000 as Daniel Buskin with bottom pair.
Long going out. Well, if you're Darren, what do you do now? Looks to me like you got to go with this hand.
Is he just going to call or put in the raise right now? Looking like a raise.
You can't just call and let your opponent draw to something like a king-queen where you could get beat on the turn.
And for Daniel Buskin, you were almost home, but ran into a little speed bump named Darren Elias. And that's generally what happens with deuce 3 suited.
The World Poker Tour has seen its share of avid players from the world of entertainment, like actress Jennifer Tilly and movie director Todd Phillips. Now, here in Atlantic City, I got the chance to sit down with top-selling music mogul Irv Gotti to talk about his love for the game in this edition of 5 Questions. Irv, we get to see you at poker tournaments, but tell us what you do for a living.
Just music business. That's where everyone knows me from. I owned a label, and I made records for J-Lo, I made records for Ja, for Ashanti, Jay-Z, DMX. The music or the entertainment. It's something that's deeply, deeply in me.
What is it about poker that appeals to creative types?
What drives me is the competitive part and just to match wits with the players. You'd be surprised. Poker's like great for networking. Todd Phillips is a very good friend and he's a thing. Nick Cassavetes, he has a great game. Like Tobey Maguire, I play with him a lot. I always tell him his spidey senses is always tingling. He's a really good player too, by the way.
You built an image in the hip-hop world. What is your image at a poker table?
If you ask anybody who knows me, they're gonna call me every derogatory term that you could use for a tight ass. They're gonna say, what, Gotti? That, you know, because I'm not giving my chips away. Like, I guess because the way I grew up, like, I value the dollar. I grew up poor. Yo, I'm not giving you this money. You're gonna have to really take it from me and earn it.
Don't you ever get bored doing that?
Yeah, but I mix it up. I mix it up. Trust me. There'll be a few 2, 3 suiteds in there. If I hit it, I'm putting you in a coma. You're never putting me on that hand, and your soul is crushed right after that. How could you play that? Yeah, ship it.
How did you become friends with Phil Ivey?
Phil Ivey, we met, I think at casinos or in the club or whatever in Vegas, and just, you know, me being Gotti and him being Phil, and then we hooked up, and we're like brothers now.
It doesn't hurt being brothers with one of the best poker players alive.
He definitely helped me. He used to let me just sweat him, and he would explain things to me, why he's raising, why he's doing this. This is a good place to steal. And after I did that and him giving me tips, my game changed.
If you had to make a choice, would you rather have a WPT title or a hit single?
Wow, that's a good one. See, that's a bad question, though, because I had so many hits. I really feel like I could go in the studio right now and make another hit. I just can't walk into a tournament and get a WPT title. So, you know what? Yes, the WPT title.
Irv Gotti, one of the most successful hip-hop producers around today, made quite a name for himself in the music industry and now making a name for himself in poker as well, Mike.
Well, music is his business. Poker is his passion.
And there's a look at the updated chip counts. Rags and riches, kind of a divided table. Get a look at Bobby Abudi. He's got ace-king suited here. Mike, Bobby says he likes the mental game, but from the looks of the guy, there's plenty of gym tan laundry on that resume. He likes the physical side as well. Daniel Buskin out of the way.
Well, here you go. The Englishman moving all in here. He's on the short stack. He's got the ace-10, and he has shipped it. Wong going out. Elias out as well.
Unbelievable.
Call.
Fred Goldberg is out, and Bobby quickly calls him and has him dominated. Ace-king versus ace-10. And it looks like the Englishman could be heading back across the pond unless he gets lucky here.
You get a look at his wife there. Ricky and his wife out here on a vacation. Believe it or not, it's a poker vacation, Mike.
Well, what a vacation it is. He got in this tournament on a $100 satellite. This is his first WPT event ever. Gonna make by far his biggest cash ever in his life. I'm talking about Ricky Hale.
Well, the boys back in London are pulling for a 10. Can Hale get the help? 10 high.
10 right on the flop. So Ricky Hale has outflopped his opponent. Bobby looking for a king now, for a jack and a queen to make a straight, but right now, Bobby Abudi up against it.
Bobby looking gutted there.
A king on the turn. Wow. It's not over. Obviously, he can catch a 10 on the river to make 3 10s. That's what he's got to have. What drama here. Ricky outflops him and then gets cracked on the turn.
Spade.
Right on, man.
That's not where you're at, but.
Hale needs a 10 here. Can he do it?
Well, a jack comes off on the river. That's going to do it for the 42-year-old from England. Ricky Hale going to be out in 6th place.
Yeah, Mike, he's going to pick up $186,585 for the effort. Certainly a nice stop on his poker vacation with his wife. He's been in the United States for a couple of weeks.
Well, remember, he got in this tournament on a $100 satellite. What a parlay that is.
Not bad.
With Ricky Hale out in 6th place, we're down to 5 players at the Borgata Poker Open. Stick around for more action from Atlantic City in just a moment.
Season 10 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
I think the people that come here to Borgata not only come here to play poker, they come here to have a great time.
The social experience is just as important to me as poker, so it's always nice to go to nice dinners and go out to clubs and stuff. And Borgata's nightlife is always pretty spot on from my experience.
Bobby Abudi, our chip leader there, singing the praises of Borgata, and why not? Players love it here, Ali. As you know, phenomenal restaurants, just a great property, and the greatest poker tournaments, certainly on the East Coast. This is the largest event in the history of the World Poker Tour.
I'm still trying to figure out what Bobby Abudi meant by spot on in his experience with respect to the nightlife over here, and I'm sure he's not getting into the club with that T-shirt. Find a collar, kiddo.
The ace-jack makes it $325,000 to go. Buzzkin out.
And that's got Jin's whiskers tingling.
900.
Ooh.
He is going to 3-bet here with an ace-4. Something you wouldn't expect out of a 52-year-old amateur player. You just think they would have a stronger hand to 3-bet.
Both Darren and Goldberg lay down, back over to Bobby, and Abudi is getting Obuti'd.
A tough decision now. This guy's a tight player. The satellite winner.
You have how much behind?
First ever WPT event.
I don't know. I really don't come. Let me see.
Love this.
Just $1 million.
1 million,
Magenta or whatever.
2 million plus about
3 behind.
Close to 3 million. Yeah.
Booty, just wanted to hear him talk as much as get info about how many chips he's got.
And try to pick off a tell, maybe.
Long sounded pretty confident there when he was giving him that chip count. So much so that Abudi goes away. So a nice 3-bet by the 52-year-old small business owner.
The grossest spots.
And just outplayed a tough young pro right there.
See that one on TV? If you were bluffing me, I'll know. Don't think I won't know.
Bobby's going to be sick by the time he gets home to watch this.
All right. Action continues on Darren Elias. He goes out.
Gosh, found it.
Oh, Fred's struggling. The mummy is having trouble here.
It's hard to pick up your cards one-handed.
Oh, get after it. There you go, buddy. Even with one hand, 2 kings are doable. We should run some barbecue tongs out to the table. Something.
350. 350.
There it is, Fred. Get it out there.
Yeah, 350,000 is the bet. Bobby out, Daniel out as well. Look at this.
Jin Wong's going to ride the wave here.
And makes the call with the 10-9 offsuit.
Going to put some of Abuti's chips to work that he just picked up.
And flop ace, queen, deuce. Invariably, when you pick up kings, the ace hits the board, doesn't it?
Yep, they call them ace magnets.
Check.
Neither player really liking the flop. They both check. And look at that turn card for Jin Wong. He picks up a few outs, huh?
Flush draw and a straight draw.
I'm going to check and see if you have a diamond. Let's look together. Come on, the TV doing a little action.
Yeah, he's checking back, see if he's got the king of diamonds. Nope, they're 2 black kings. He says, okay, let's take one off then. Well, Jen got a lot of outs to win this hand. Doesn't happen as the queen comes off. But again, Jen checks.
Let's show one hand down. Let's show it down. Let everybody know I'm not playing games.
Well, it goes check, check.
Goldberg gives him a look.
Nice check.
We show down. We show down.
Goldberg taking down that pot.
Fred gaining some momentum now.
Well, you know.
Well, there it is. Fred Goldberg has done it. He's doubled up.
But I think we have the best players in the world down in South Florida. Best players in the world down in South Florida. Well, I said it back in 2006 that some of the best players are from South Florida, and I still say it. Just some really good players, and hopefully we can keep winning events.
Michael Mizrachi is our champion. He is done it.
The young American is the first one ever to win the WPT title in France.
So maybe another Florida guy can take down the next WPT event. Keep it going.
Fred is right. A lot of great players in South Florida. The winner of our last WPT event in Paris, Matt Waxman from South Florida. Fred trying to make it back-to-back for the Floridians.
Being a professional poker player in South Florida is like already being retired. Life is good down there. The blinds have gone up to 100, 200,000 with a 20K ante.
Fold around to Fred Goldberg. Picks up another premium hand, an ace-queen.
475.
On the button, he's going to open for a raise to 475,000. Deck is definitely favoring him, and Obuti's going to look him up with Jack 10 off. Daniel Buskin out of the way. Comes the flop. Ace, ace, 4.
Great flop for Goldberg as he flops 3 aces.
Mike, we're going to have to run some more gauze out to the table because the deck is slapping Fred right in the face.
Yeah, Obuti is checked. Fred gonna bet 600,000.
Nothing doing for Bobby Obuti, but he is the kind of player that I could see make him a move on a board like this.
Obuti is gonna make this call, Ali.
Well, if anybody was gonna float at this table, it'd be Bobby Obuti.
Oh, and look at this, an ace on the turn. Well, all Obuti is gonna do is sink here, not float on this hand. And he's gonna check it. Fred Goldberg has quad aces. He cannot be beat.
No reason to bet in position. Knuckling, trying to give Bobby a little rope.
Well, 4 comes off, so a full house on the board.
1.3.
When Obuti falls into the trap, he bets 1.3 million.
And that smell in your living room is Bobby's chips on fire, just going up in smoke.
Yeah, Fred Goldberg.
4 million.
Now it says 4 million. And Obuti knows he's had his booty kicked in this hand.
He sure has.
And Bobby quickly going out. And how sweet it is when you've got quads and your opponent is betting at you on the river.
Just play on the board, play on the board.
All right, I'll bet against that right now, whatever you want.
Whatever you want to bet.
So Fred Goldberg takes down that pot. We've still got 5 players left fighting it out for the $922,000 first place prize here at the record-breaking Borgata Poker Open.
Yeah, fighting is correct. Chip leader Fred Goldberg started the evening off in the chip lead, lost it to Bobby Obuti, who is currently in second, but he's since regained it. And I think the man to watch out for right now, Mike, is the guy who's in third, quietly. Darren Elias, he is waiting to make a move.
Well, Ali, the atmosphere in the room is heating up, and we'll see who has the focus to cross the finish line with the WPT title. Back to you, Kim.
Thanks, guys. We'll be back next time with continuing coverage from the WPT Season 10 Borgata Poker Open. Until then, from Mike Sexton, Ali Najad, the Royal Flush Girls, Tony Dunst, and the entire WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Good night.
The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
In Atlantic City, over $900,000 and the Champions Cup all goes to the winner of the biggest WPT in history. Continuing coverage of the record-breaking Borgata Poker Open starts now, only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing. He is circling the drain. They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He needs the extreme miracle.
The second hour of WPT's extended coverage of the Borgata Poker Open is about to get underway.
So we turn to Mike Sexton and Ali Najad, who's sitting in tonight for Vince Van Patten. Mike, what do you make of what we've seen so far?
Well, Kimberly, we've seen some good poker so far at this final table. Chip leader Fred Goldberg took a few hits early on, but got back on track when he made quad aces versus Bobby Obuti. And then he got into some playful banter with Bobby's raise.
Just play on the board, play on the board.
I'll bet against that right now, whatever you want.
Whatever you want to bet.
But let me tell you, even though he lost that last hand, I've been impressed with the play of Bobby Obuti. He's a 24-year-old poker pro out of New Jersey.
He busted the missing man at the table, Ricky Hale, who went out in 6th place. But 3 of these 5 guys are from New Jersey. Local guys look like they got it going tonight.
Ali, what can we expect moving forward?
Well, as the blinds and antes go up, you're going to see the pressure start to affect the short stacks of Jin Huang and Daniel Buskin. One of those two are going to have to go all in. And if you see a bust out there and we get down to 4-handed, I think that's when you'll see Darren Elias start to finally come alive.
Okay, thanks, guys. We also just caught up with Bobby Abudi. Let's see what he had to say.
I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm playing pretty well in the zone. I'm not going to let anything rattle me right now, including my rail, which seems to be a little bit obnoxious. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm just going to play solid and hopefully, win the hands where I'm the favorite. And if everything goes my way, then I feel pretty good about winning the title.
Now, you heard Bobby mention his rail. They have been very vocal here tonight, heckling Bobby's opponents, especially Fred Goldberg. We'll see if that becomes a factor here tonight.
There is so much money on the line, and that WPT Champions Cup is still up for grabs. So let's not waste any time and check the chip counts and get back to the game.
There you see our chip leaders. Fred Goldberg out in front. He came to this final table as chip leader. He's still the chip leader. Bobby Abudi, tough young pro out of New Jersey, in 2nd place.
Yeah, those are the guys that are looking best to take down the $922,000 first place prize and get their names engraved on that WPT Champions Cup.
Well, remember, this is the record-setting field in the history of the WPT, 1,313 entrants. Okay, Daniel Buskin going out here.
Jin Huang, the elder statesman at the table, hailing from Maryland by way of South Korea. He's going to pitch his hand. Darren Elias out of the way as well, another Jersey native. Over to the one-armed bandit, Fred Goldberg, suffered a racquetball accident just before this tournament. Not going to stop him from putting $500,000 into the pot with Jack-10 off from the small.
And Bobby Abudi is going to look him up here with a 10-9 offsuit. So the two chip leaders going at it in the blinds.
1.1 million in the middle. The flop is 8-5-6 rainbow. Bobby's got the straight draw and 2 overs. Pretty much air for Fred. Not going to stop him from firing the continuation bet. 575,000.
Abudi is going to gamble here for the gut shot straight. He makes the call.
He does have position on Fred.
Now a 3 comes off. Obviously no help to either player.
Quick check from Fred there, giving control to Bobby. Looks like he's going to take a shot here, Mike.
Now, this is a very good bet by Bobby Abudi.
He's going to take it down. A lot of players would have just checked there to get the free card off. Not Bobby Abudi. And his fans in the Royal Flush Grill Social Bar are loving it tonight as he takes down that pot, and with it the chip lead. And Ali, our fans will be happy to know that they too can come to a WPT final table and enjoy the action from the best seats in the house. And as a Club WPT VIP member, you can get priority seating right next to the Royal Flush Girls.
Like to keep the atmosphere festive. And Fred Goldberg, the one-armed bandit, a little annoyed at that, but holding it together. He'll be first to act here. Lines at 100, 200,000 with a 20K ante.
Here he picks up 2 8s.
And he's going to raise it. Makes it 475,000 to go.
Ace-9 suited for Bobby. Ooh, gonna lay it down, Mike.
So Daniel Buskin.
Come on.
He's going to move all in here with the ace-10 offsuit.
Yeah, like we said, these short stacks were gonna have to make a move.
All right, let's go. I call.
Now Huang goes out, Elias out, and Fred Goldberg is going to make the call here. So we have a classic race situation, the overcards versus the 2 8s.
No, nothing.
Now Daniel's a pro out of Marlton, New Jersey, went to Arizona State, majored in golf management.
Doesn't look happy that he got that call.
Daniel Buskin's turned the life on the line right here.
He's looking for an ace or a 10. Can he do it?
Oh, an 8 right on the flop.
That's an ugly flop if your name is Daniel Buskin.
What can you do?
Fred flops top set.
Daniel's going to need a couple of runners to a straight. A couple of spades will do the trick, too.
You can make a straight flush backdoor.
I know you don't want to hear it right now, but...
Remember, Abudi folded the ace-9 of spades, so a couple spades gone.
Ooh.
But the jack of spades comes off, so Daniel Buskin alive.
Like we say, it's never easy.
Didn't catch any spade other than the 6 of spade. but he must catch one to win this pot.
And he
does
it. Wow. Unbelievable. Fred Goldberg taking it on the chin right there.
Fred looks stunned.
That's how you win
I had ace-9 of spades. I had ace-9 of spades.
Fred Goldberg, he's got that club on his arm, but he's got to feel like he got clubbed in the head right there.
Adding injury to injury.
Huge draw out there by Daniel Buskin, and he knows it. Tough beat for Fred Goldberg. We've still got 5 players left fighting it out for this title.
That was so sick.
We've got a lot planned for you tonight from Borgata, including a new segment for Season 10, On the Road. And hear what Tony Dunst has to say in The Raw Deal, all when the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com, continues. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. The race for this WPT title continues. Now remember, the winner tonight will take home over $900,000, including a seat to the Season 10 WPT World Championship in Las Vegas. And if you want a chance to win a seat in a WPT live tournament, check out ClubWPT.com. For only $19.95 a month, you too can become a VIP member. This means you can play in as many tournaments as you want. It's no risk with a high reward. So check it out for yourself on ClubWPT.com and never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. All right, looks like the final table action is ready to start back up. So I'll hand it over to Mike and I'll leave and get back to the game.
There you see the chip counts of the 5 players. Bobby O'Booty, tough young pro out of New Jersey, up top with over 12 million in chips.
Daniel Buskin on a pretty short stack. Managed to get real lucky against Fred Goldberg. Give himself some breathing room, staring at King 10 offsuit here.
Looks like he's going to pop it up. He makes it 425,000 to go.
Jin Wong ducking out of this pot. Box cars for Darren Elias.
He's going to make the call.
Goldberg out of the way and over to Bobby O'Booty.
Well, he's looking around now. Caesar's over 1.2 million in the pot. Cost him another 225,000 to call. That equals pot odds. That equals call.
It ain't rocket science, is it?
3-way action here.
He wants to take a peek at this flop.
7-3 deuce, all clubs. Booty checks his flush draw.
Daniel's got the king high flush draw, in control of the pot as the pre-flop raiser. He fires the continuation bet, 480,000.
Darren Elias makes the call with the 2 6s. He doesn't have a club in his hand, but he just senses that the 6s are good. O'Booty goes out.
He's going to let these 2 battle heads up. King on the turn, a pretty good card for Daniel, and he's checking it, Mike.
A great card for Daniel as he now has the lead with 2 kings and the king high flush draw.
Well, this is pot control from Daniel here. He doesn't want to bet and get raised, potentially moved off his hand. He's going to let Darren commit some chips to the pot.
He committed 875,000 to the pot. Oh, there's the cards lie. Elias has got 1 out, 6 of diamonds.
Daniel, of course, going to make the call. Up to over 4 million in the middle.
He's afraid his opponent might have flopped a set, might have the flush.
All legitimate concerns if you're Daniel Buskin. The jack of spades. Again, up to Daniel. He's going to slip it to Darren.
You'd think Darren might wave the flag now.
Indeed he does.
King.
Daniel going to take the pot down with the 2 kings. So Daniel Buskin on a nice little roll here right now. He majored in golf management at Arizona State. Obviously plays a lot of golf in his spare time.
There's many similarities between poker and golf. It's not a team sport like basketball, baseball. Like, you rely on yourself. You have to make a putt on the last hole for all the money, or when you're sitting there just in the tank thinking, should I call, should I do this? It's so nerve-wracking, both of them. You can just feel your hand shaking, your heart beating, and it's exhilarating, and that's why a lot of people love poker.
He's making more money on the green felt than he would on the green grass. You know a little something about golf, Mr. Sexton?
Well, see, he majored in golf management, but to most gamblers like myself, golf management means getting your bets right on the first tee.
Making sure you get the right handicap in there, huh? Queen 5 offsuit for Jin Wong. The South Korean lays it down.
Elias out as well. Round to Fred Goldberg now.
Soft 14.
Fred, a 36-year-old contractor and pro poker player out of Hollywood, Florida. We're going to raise on the button here with an ace-3 offsuit.
Couple of 9s for Bobby Obuti in the small blind. These two have played quite a few heads-up pots at this final table.
Well, they have. And Obuti just calling with the 2 9s. Does not re-raise. When you just call, you allow the big blind to get priced in, so to speak.
Daniel wasn't biting, though. Slips out of the way with the ace-7, and here comes the flop, heads up.
The flop comes 10-8-8. So Obuti out in front with the 2 9s. He checks. Here comes the continuation bet by Goldberg. 775,000.
Interesting flop texture for Bobby.
And he's going to make the call. You know Goldberg doesn't like that. 4 diamonds comes off.
2 9s still in front, but still checking. Almost 3 million in the middle. Oh, look at this, Mike. Fred Goldberg's going to fire 1.325 million.
I'll tell you, folks, it's tough to call that much money with just 2 9s in this situation.
Especially because you got to worry about what happens on the river if you check again.
And that's part of your problem. You're calling 1.3 million here. What are you going to do now if the guy fires a huge bet on the river? Well, 5 of diamonds comes off, so 3 diamonds out there. Now again, Obuti checks, and you just wonder if it's time for Fred to give up the ship here.
Does he have a 3rd barrel in his arsenal? We're about to find out.
Well, if his opponent had a straight draw to start with, he would have the best hand with ace high. So he's going to check it down.
2 pair.
2 pair are going to win this pot. The 2 9s are going to win. Bobby Obuti taking down that pot, and with it, massively extends his chip lead. And Obuti's fans loving it. Ellie, he is in command right now. Obuti playing in his 3rd WPT event ever at this final table, looking for his first WPT title. Well, there you see Bobby Obuti well out in front now with over 16 million in chips. He is in command.
Blinds have gone up to 120 and 240 with the 30K ante. Daniel Buskin's got a little bit of momentum. But Jack 9, not enough for him to participate here. And Jin Wong, who's been quiet of late, is going to get his beak wet with Queen 7 suited. Opens for a raise. Over to Darren.
Well, Darren's got a premium hand, ace king. Certainly probably going to 3-bet it here with this hand, I would assume.
No reason not to from the button.
1.225 million is the bet.
Makes quick work of Goldberg's ace 10 and Bobby's big blind. Jin Wong.
And he's going to make the call here with the Queen 7. So the 52-year-old small business owner gambling it up right now.
He could have laid this down easily, instead investing another 700,000, and look at that flop.
What a flop for him. He's got top pair and a flush draw. And he's just going to ship the balance of his 1.6 million. It looks like.
Getting his troops ready.
I'm on it.
Cool.
He does, and a quick call.
Ooh.
Well, you might say, why Darren Elias making that quick call for 1.6 million? Well, he's over 4.6 million in the pot, so he's getting a pretty good price to make the call.
He does have 2 overs and a Broadway draw.
Almost 3-1, but he didn't know his opponent had top pair and a flush draw, or I can assure you, he probably wouldn't have called this.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dog right now. He's looking for a 10.
Now, 3 of spade comes off.
Well, it's not over yet.
That gives him the flush, as you can see, but if another spade comes off, Darren will have a bigger flush. Darren up against it, must catch a spade to eliminate Jen from this tournament. We saw running spades come up before at this final table. Can it happen again?
Not this time.
Jin Wong is going to double up yet again. In the history of the WPT, in 10 seasons, only 2 players have come from 6th position to take a WPT title. Could Jin Wong be our 3rd?
So as Jin Wong stacks his chips, you can see they're enjoying the action over at the Royal Flush Girls Social Bar. And Mike, I recently had a chance to hang out with one of our Royal Flush girls, Melly Grace, who fancies herself a race car driver.
Time for the viewers to get a glimpse of what happens behind the scenes on the World Poker Tour with this segment of On the Road.
So I am driving through Paris to go pick up Melly, who's supposedly a big stud when it comes to racing. We're gonna go butt heads on the go-kart track.
So Aline came to pick me up before we went to the racetrack, and he was talking so much game.
You look tired. So how often do you go road racing?
Well, I don't race, but I'm at the track about 2-3 times a week.
Are you serious? That's nuts. See, you don't know anything about how much driving I've done. None.
Yeah?
You know nothing.
You're still gonna get spanked in go-karting.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You have so much confidence. You know Humpty Dumpty takes a big fall, right? Like, you don't...
Yeah, but too bad I'm not Humpty Dumpty.
That is for sure.
We got to the track, and I was so ready to get out there and show them what's up. I'm ready.
Well, before we hit the track, we had to get kitted up the right way, and that involved these racing suits. You know, I wasn't gonna let her try to woo me with the whole, like, sexy girl routine. That wasn't gonna affect me.
Let's go, I'm ready. Come on.
Wait.
Dude, if I lose to Melissa Grace in a freaking road race, that'll be unbelievably emasculating. That's crazy. Not to mention it'll probably cost me some money, which is never good.
We had a couple of warm-up rounds, and then they dropped the flag, and we were off.
We both were at the starting line, and we both hit the gas at the same time. And in pretty short order, I passed her and left her behind. So I decided, you know, what better time to slow my go-kart down, lace my fingers behind my helmet, and just sort of relax and kick back and wait for her. So then I caught right back up to her instantly and then passed her again, and then stopped and let her catch up and then did the same thing over and over. I think I might have pissed her off.
He claims he kept stopping for me because I kept hitting walls. But I don't really remember it that way.
Not too many laps after that. It was a 40-mile-an-hour T-bone right into my left side. She did not like being toyed with.
I'm not gonna drive like a grandma around the track. Ali was fast because he ran the lines, but I think I win overall style because I drifted the turns and showed some aggression.
You race dirty! I certainly won the race. Won is kind of an understatement. I mean, I ravaged that girl on the track. She certainly didn't seem prepared to stand just a notch below in the silver medalist platform.
I seriously couldn't wait to take off that race suit because it was so stinky, and then in came Ali gloating some more.
Assistance, s'il vous plaît. Assistance. Oh God. It's so heavy and glorious. I don't even know what to do with it. Oh God. It's so victorious and I can't even lift it.
Yeah, Ali's ego.
Oh, partner, I am proud of you. Don't let those Royal Flush girls beat you at anything.
I can assure you I will never let these Royal Flush girls get the best of me, huh? All right, we'll be right back to Atlantic City with more of the Borgata Poker Open after this.
Season 10 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
I'm at one of Borgata's many fabulous restaurants, Wolfgang Puck American Grill, where head chef Aram's going to teach me how to make gnocchi. Let's get started.
Here at Borgata, we have a wide variety of amenities. Great entertainment, great food and beverage with the likes of Wolfgang Puck and Bobby Flay. Our food and beverage program is probably the best on the East Coast, east of the Mississippi.
Beautiful sauce here that we're using for
Is that
it.
a bolognese?
Yes, it is. It's an Italian sausage bolognese. Has pork and veal and beef in it.
We look at Borgata as a full-scale resort where you really don't have to leave the property, and from morning till night there's always something to do, and then a great room to relax in when you need to catch a couple hours of sleep between poker tournaments.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Boom. Watch out, it's a little hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Molto delicioso.
Molto bene.
Great food is just one of the many things happening here at Borgata. Tonight, the main event is the Borgata Poker Open, and action resumes. So let's get back to Mike and Ali.
Yeah, great food is happening for some people, Kimberly. Mike and I are over here noshing on carrots and ranch dip.
Yeah, she goes to these fancy restaurants. They give us a coupon to the buffet.
We're going to have to see someone about that.
Well, Bobby O'Booty well out in front with $16.5 million. Everybody else sort of grouped together. Daniel Buskin in second place with $6.8 million.
Darren Elias pitches it. Not the same for Fred Goldberg with 9 high. He makes it 600 to go.
Show one imagination. Bobby O'Booty in position with the chip lead. Going to look him up. Makes the call with the king 10.
Look at this. Daniel Buskin with ace king off suit.
Well, you can look for fireworks here. He is not just going to call this, folks. Guarantee he's going to 3-bet it. Just a matter of how much.
Yeah, perfect situation for that play.
One guy's raised, the other guy's called. You're sitting on ace king.
I'm all in.
Well, he went big, Ali. He moved all in.
Jin Wong, the South Korean, lays it down.
I don't believe either one of them can stand the pressure. The 9 high is gone. The king high is gone. So a nice all-in bet by Daniel there. Understanding the situation, taking advantage of it.
2 jacks. 2 jacks.
Daniel Buskin taking down the pot, uncontested.
2 deuces.
2 jacks. Come on.
I'm gonna take it right there with the deuces.
End it.
I like it.
End it.
I like it.
Making full fives, just end it.
All right, back to the action. It's on Jin Wong.
Got a master's in special education. Didn't need that to learn to lay that hand down.
Darren Elias has a degree in creative writing.
Well, it would have taken plenty of creativity for Darren to get involved with that 6-3 offsuit. Meanwhile, Fred Goldberg looks down at a couple of 9s. And he's going to raise it up. And uh-oh, Bobby O'Booty's got 2 10s.
And I'll tell you, if you're sitting in Fred Goldberg's seat, this guy's becoming a real pain in your side here. You'd better go to the dentist office than have Bobby O'Booty sitting behind you with chips.
Give me a root canal before you give me a seat on his right.
Well, that's the truth.
And there it is, the 3-bet.
Now action on Daniel Buskin. He's only got a 9-4, and it's been 3-bet to him, so just posturing here, I'm sure. Trying to get a little airtime.
Well, mission accomplished. Daniel Buskin out of the way.
Well, Fred better be very careful here. He is dominated pair over pair. Can't have a guy in worse shape than that. He just calls, does not re-raise with the 2 9s.
And that call puts over $3 million in the pot, and he's in horrible shape. It's going to take some pretty bad flop texture for his hand to avoid losing some more chips.
Well, here comes that flop. The flop, king 8-5, all spades. Bobby with the best hand and the flush draw.
920.
920,000, not a big bet into a pot that's got over 3 million in it, but I'm sure big enough to find out what he wants to know. And that's that he has the best hand. And he takes down the pot.
Good lay down by Fred.
You have no prayer.
I swear, you'll see it on TV.
Well, Bobby O'Booty telling him the truth, but Israel thinks that he's needling his opponent.
Dude, come on. You opened with 300,000. I 3-bet you.
I love playing poker because I'm interested in the like mental aspect of the game. Just trying to be able to understand their thought process, maybe better than they understand their own thought process, and use it against them.
All in.
Everything's going pretty well, so hopefully you can keep it up.
Full house.
I'm getting kind of rambunctious back there.
This should just be like in a closed dome, like soundproof dome.
Fred Goldberg starting to get a little aggravated here. He came to this final table as chip leader. Now he's in short stack position.
Well, the heckling continues. Fred folds, Bobby folds, and Fred's stepping away from the table here.
Knock it off, I'm letting you know now.
Hey.
All right, knock it off. Listen. I'm letting you know now. Knock it off.
We were not coming at you. Talk to your
Listen,
boys.
knock it off. I'm just telling you straight up.
Talk to your boys. If they want to come
You can have your nutrition, whatever. I'll smack any one of you, okay? Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off, all right? Talk to your boys. Knock it off. I'll let you know now, all right? All right, it's a little out of line. It's a little disrespectful. You're being disrespectful.
Action continues as tensions run high here at Borgata.
Visit the rail.
Talk to your boys.
As it seems to be going on, as Freddie Goldberg has had about enough of Bobby Aboody's peanut gallery.
Just knock it off. I'm telling you right now. All right?
Come visit the rail again.
Visit the rail? Yeah.
Talk to your boys. They want to talk to us.
He was on the rail. Wait till I double up.
Bobby Aboody embarrassed by all this, of course.
I don't need to listen to this. They're being disrespectful.
And we're going to work on it.
They're being disrespectful.
I promise you.
All right?
Security stepping in here.
We'll take care of them.
Jin Wong.
Make the call.
He'll take out 3 and I'll take out 3.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Fred fanning the flames here.
Come on, man. Nice
Believe me.
sunglasses. Hey, nice sunglasses.
It'll be a WPT first. We've never had fans 86 from the arena.
Don't let them get to you.
No, I don't need to listen to this. Enough's enough. If you want to have fun, we can have a good time, but that's
They can
it.
cheer for him. They just don't say anything about you.
Yeah, it's just disrespectful.
I agree. I don't want anybody disrespecting anybody else on the rail on either side. So
We're playing for a lot of money. We don't need people like.
I don't care. I mean, I just don't want the disrespect.
Well, this may be frustration boiling over for Freddie because up to this point, he hadn't really said anything about that. Now he's lost a few pots, and it's starting to get to him. And the downside to this, even though Freddie may be in the right to go over there and have a few words with them and ask them to tone it down a little bit, is that he's going to look rattled. He's going to look frazzled to his opponents, and they may go for the jugular. When there's blood in the water, any professional player, as you know, Mike, they go for it.
Now, what I know is to win at poker, you got to be calm, cool, and collected, in my opinion, and maintain your composure. I think Freddie's losing his a bit right now.
Meanwhile, we got a raised pot between Daniel and Jin. Queen 10 suited against ace queen on a flop of jack 8-5.
Jin checks the flop, as does Daniel.
Daniel's got the gut shot straight draw. He could have fired there.
And the board pairs 8s. And again, Jin checks.
Now Daniel fires the bet in position, 530,000. Well, if he wasn't beat on the flop, Jin knows he's not beat on the turn, and he's going to call with the ace high here. He's not that much of an amateur.
Now, deuce of clubs on the river.
Safe looking card.
It's going check, check. And Jin Wong is going to take down this pot with the ace high.
And he's hanging around, Mike. Got himself up to over 7.8 million in chips.
And he got in this tournament by winning a $350 satellite.
Listen, just get him out of here. I don't need to listen to I don't need to listen to this. Get him out of here. Honestly. Get the whole crew out of there. Honestly, get them all out of here. I don't want to listen to this. Show respect. You already warned them once.
Yeah, they've been drinking, so they can't really control themselves.
Disrespectful.
Well, tensions remain high here at Borgata. We'll be right back with more on the World Poker Tour.
So look.
There you go, look at it.
You got lucky.
Nice hand, nice hand.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where 5 players are battling it out for the Borgata Poker Open title. Taking a look at the Player of the Year race, Will the Thrill Fiala, who won the Legends of Poker tournament in LA and took 11th place here at Borgata, is currently in the lead with 1,600 points, but whoever wins tonight's event will jump into second place with 1,400 points, right behind Will. And remember, we will be tracking the POY race all season long, so be sure to check back with us each week. Poker isn't the only game being played here in Atlantic City. While Vince couldn't be here tonight, he did stop by earlier this week to play some racquetball with WPT champ Will Fiala. Take a look.
We're in Atlantic City between poker sessions. And right now we're going to have a little wager here between Will the Thrill, the guy who's a former professional racquetball player, and my man Vince here, former professional tennis player.
He will need a defibrillator when I'm done with him.
He's got first serve too? He's got serve too? All right, you got serve, I guess.
Next down the first point, my man. Vince is improving as we go, but got his hands full. Set match. Will the Thrill taking him down.
Will, you are great, man. Great job, great match. We had fun.
My advice to Vince, go back to the tennis court. So Will the Thrill took it to my boy Vince on the racquetball court, but he's taking it to all the other players out here in the WPT.
Yeah, meanwhile, Bobby O'Booty, a commanding lead with over 16 million in front of him.
Closing in on half the chips.
Just want to play poker. I don't need a rail.
And he's done well to stay out of the nonsense since it began.
Well, he should do nothing but focus on taking down this WPT title opportunity right in his grasp.
He raises to 500,000 with ace-deuce offsuit. Folded to Darren Elias, who pitches the 10-8 suited.
The first time.
Now back over to his nemesis, Fred Goldberg, who's chipping it all in with queen-10 off.
Unbelievable. Against the guy who raised right under the gun.
I think we're witnessing core meltdown in the reactor.
You want to count?
Nah, it's okay. I can see it. It's fine.
All right, don't make me sweat.
Nah, I have a little bit of decision.
He might have picked up something because Bobby just has an ace-deuce offsuit.
Goldberg no longer has
All
a
right,
huge
Fred,
stack with the blinds where they are, and Bobby's going to let him take this one.
And so good timing there for Fred. Maybe picking that pot up will calm him down a bit. He says he got that rap in a racquetball accident, but you wonder if he was sparring with Mike Tyson.
Or someone's rail on the way to the final table.
You always want to get players to steam at the table, but you don't want them to go off on the rail. Buzzkin out.
Jin Wong ducking out of this pot. He's been folded over to Darren Elias, who's got a couple of jacks. And he knows what to do. Pops it to a $500,000.
Fred gonna go out. Back over to O'Booty, and look at this. He has picked up 2 kings. He is catching some cards.
500,000.
And Allie, as you know, when you're playing well and catching well, that's a tough combination to beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And O'Booty is doing both right now.
1.1 million.
Here he's gonna make it 1.1 million, and Darren knows there's only 3 hands that can beat him.
I don't know about you, Mike. I do not see a flat call in Darren's future.
No, I think he's just going to probably ship it here, and I don't blame him.
Come on, call.
He's going all in and quickly called, and he is not going to like it, as you can see. Tough break for him right here.
Yeah, and he's wearing it on his face. You can see the disappointment.
Hold up, Blade, one time.
He did nothing wrong, honestly. I think most players would ship in that spot with 2 jacks. Unfortunately, Bobby O'Booty has 2 kings.
So far, so good, yeah.
Darren's girlfriend and mom wearing the same look that Darren is. He needs help.
Just got to hope you get lucky. Doesn't happen on the flop as it comes 10, 4, 5, 2 diamonds.
Bobby's got the diamonds blocked with the king of diamonds.
Bobby O'Booty in great shape to eliminate another player at this final table.
One step closer now as the 6 of hearts peels off on the turn. Darren Elias needs a black jack.
Doesn't happen as the 3 of hearts comes off. So that's going to do it for the tough young pro from Montclair, New Jersey, Darren Elias, out in 5th place.
Darren's going to take home $230,000. Not too shabby for 5 days' work, but the real story, of course, Bobby O'Booty.
I would clutch knockout, man. So good, that kid. I just don't want to deal with him.
It was tough. Things started out pretty good, but that queen-7 hand really hurt me, and then that last hand, nothing I can do, so I feel okay with it. I think Bobby's in good shape. I think he has half the chips in play, so If I were betting, I guess I'd bet on him. Thank you.
So with Darren Elias out in 5th place, we're getting closer to adding a new name to the WPT Champions Cup. We'll be right back with more from the Borgata Poker Open, brought to you by ClubWPT.com in just a moment.
Want to improve your game? As a Club WPT VIP, you get exclusive access to past WPT episodes and the chance to win your share of more than $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to the WPT's coverage of the Borgata Poker Open, brought to you by ClubWPT.com.
Let's take a look back at the Season 2 Borgata Poker Open final table
with Tony Dunst in this edition of the Raw Deal.
Considering some of the ridiculous moments we've witnessed over 10 seasons of WPT final tables, I often wish I'd been around longer so I could have done the raw deal on them. However, as it turns out, when you have access to a video vault from WPT's headquarters, it's highly comparative to having a time machine. So instead of analyzing what we've witnessed tonight at the Borgata, let's have a blast from the past and break down a sequence of hands from this same tournament nearly a decade ago when Noli Francisco and Charlie Shoten were heads up for this title. We begin with Charlie Shoten calling a raise in the big blind, holding just 11 blinds to start the hand.
He's going to call a $70,000 raise here with a King 4 offsuit.
Honestly, if you're going to show clips from 2003, then freak out about pre-flop play, you'll just wind up being redundant, so let's not get into it. Both players check down to the river, which lands an ace that Charlie again checks. And it's right about there that Charlie decides that concentrating at the poker table is no longer cool. Noli goes to bet the ace as a bluff card, but as he's laying out chips, Charlie announces call.
A call. How do you know how much I'm betting?
Oh. This is a mental error by Charlie.
Which he states after the hand was a tactic to keep Noli from betting.
I said I called to stop you from betting.
Sick angle, bro. Especially considering it let your opponent free roll how much he wanted to bet based on the strength of his hand. Presumably, if you just committed a table faux pas by acting out of turn,
I'm sorry.
You might be increasingly mindful for a while. But the very next hand, Charlie Shoten proves that there's no reason gaps can't come in pairs and announces all in before the action is on him.
All in.
Another discrepancy here, folks.
It's my fault.
Charlie has sort of a little mental lapse here, it looks like to me.
Noli gets the free roll again, but now decides he's more than happy to move in with 7.
I'm racing him all in.
Ace-8 against Noli. Charlie's hit the aces.
Ace comes right on the flop. And Noli's got to have a 7.
Doesn't get it there. Here comes the river card.
Doesn't get it. Charlie has doubled up here on a mysteriously played hand.
But Noli Francisco is not a man to be outdone. Noli is a man of resiliency, a man that doesn't let one lost coin flip deter him.
Raise.
Noli says raise.
A man that sees your angle shooting and raises you a straight bet.
Can't go back.
Now that's a string bet, that's right.
I tell you something, these guys get abducted by aliens and just didn't tell us about it. They acted so peculiar.
Finally, Noli finds a way to finish this Abbott and Costello act of a tournament when he turns top pair with an open-ended straight draw.
Noli has the best hand and the best draw.
But these two know how to put on a finale, which climaxes with Charlie Shoten bet 3-betting the turn all in.
I'm all in.
Holding third pair.
Charlie went over the top. He's going to go all in on him.
But even after all the cards are dealt and the suspense is over, both players continue staring at the board with a vacant and confused look.
And they're both still staring at the board.
Come on, what's going on with them?
Noli, it's over. You've won. Smile, raise your arm, do something.
And there it is.
You know what? After watching this final table from Season 2, screw the video vault. I want the time machine so I can play these guys.
We should all be so lucky.
Hey, take it easy on us old-timers.
The current chip counts, Bobby in the lead here with over half the chips in play. Meanwhile, the former table general, Fred Goldberg.
Well, we just saw him move all in a minute ago with a Queen-10 offsuit. He won that pot. Here he's raising under the gun with a 10-9 offsuit. You just have to wonder if he's losing his patience a little. Bobby going out.
Daniel Buskin looking down at a couple of hooks.
And he's looking back to see if they're still there.
I'm all in.
He is going all in here.
That's a pretty darn big 3-bet, almost 10 million.
Well, Jen goes out, and no chance Fred is going to make the call here with 10 high.
All right, I'll pick one more.
So he gives it up, and Well, maybe Daniel just realized that Darren Elias just got broke with 2 jacks and didn't want the same thing to happen to him.
Darren's buddy Chris Klodnicki hanging out at the social media bar with the Royal Flush Girls. Not a bad seat, is it?
It's a flip for sure.
Which way? Do you have the pair?
Huh?
Daniel, another tough pro out of New Jersey. Started playing poker in his dorm room. Went to Arizona State. Majored in golf management. Now back to old Booty. He's going to fold. Oh, and look at this. Daniel Buskin has picked up 2 jacks again in back-to-back hands.
Did not adjust your sets. Look at this, king, queen for Jin. And he's going to call. Goldberg ducks out of the way, leaves him to battle heads up. Here comes the flop. King high. Jin has out-flopped Daniel.
Flop comes king 6-4. And look at this. He's leading right out. Now, this is something most pro players would not do. They would check, let it get a continuation bet, and then check raise with the 2 kings. But he led right out for $725,000 and got called by Daniel. Now a deuce comes off.
Well, Daniel's hoping he's not going to have to call another bet on the turn, and sure enough, Jin's going to slip it to him. Daniel's going to keep the pot small and check in position behind.
A wise check by Daniel there. And now a 7 comes off.
3.3 in the middle.
Well, Jin going to bet $925,000.
925?
And I'm telling you, if you're in Daniel's seat, you don't know what's going on here, and you can see the look on his face. That's the case. The guy didn't raise before the flop. You're not going to put him on ace-king. He didn't check raise you on the flop. He just let out and bet. Then he checked on the turn. Now all of a sudden he's betting at the river. Sometimes you're just confused, and you just got to pay off to see what's happening. And I think that's going to be exactly the case here.
Curiosity can be costly.
There's over $4.2 million in the pot. Going to cost him $925,000 to call, so a lot of money out there, especially when you don't know what's going on. He does make the call.
I got a king, that's it.
Oh, he said, I got a king, that's it. Now, did you really think the guy could beat 2 kings going through all that anguish?
If king queen was a loser, Jin would have heard from Daniel earlier than that.
So we didn't get it on crib.
So Jin Wong is on the upswing there. He entered this final table as the short stack, and he's worked his way up to second in chips. He is becoming a true contender for this title. And going in the opposite direction is one-time chip leader Fred Goldberg. He'll need to accumulate some chips when play starts back up if he's going to realize his dream of seeing his name on the WPT Champions Cup.
Well, you're right, Mike, but the real story, though, right now is 24-year-old Bobby Abudi. He is running away with this thing, but there's a few players still left at the table who might have something to say about that.
Well, gentlemen, with the WPT Champions Cup and over $900,000 going to the winner, the stakes are high as we enter the home stretch of this record-setting tournament. Please join us next time from Atlantic City as continuing coverage of the Borgata Poker Open, brought to you by ClubWPT.com, continues. Until then, from Mike Sexton, Ali Najad, Tony Dunst, the Royal Flush Girls, and the entire WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Good night.
The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Tonight in Atlantic City, the shattered records and shattered dreams are finally put to rest as we crown the champion of the largest field in WPT history. The conclusion of the Season 10 Borgata Poker Open starts now, only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing.
He is circling the drain.
They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He needs the extreme miracle.
Surviving a field of 1,313 entrants is no easy feat, and with the WPT Champions Cup now in sight, the pressure on these remaining players has ratcheted up to the breaking point. Here to give us insight at this critical juncture are Mike Sexton and Ali Najad, who's sitting in tonight for Vince Van Patten. Gentlemen, what should we look for when play starts back up?
Well, Kimberly, with 4 players left, the story of this final table so far has been Bobby Obuti, the 24-year-old poker pro out of New Jersey. He has booted the 2 missing players out of this table. He's got the big chip lead.
Yeah, but don't forget about Jin Huang. He's ginned it so far. $350 satellite. He's parlayed it into at least 4th place prize money, which is $280,000 in change. He is hanging around.
Also still in the mix is Daniel Busgin, the poker pro out of New Jersey, but we'll be keeping an eye on Fred Goldberg, who's been on the slide as of late and is currently the short stack.
Well, he hadn't picked up a lot of hands at this final table. Nothing's gone right for him, but he's still got enough chips to get back in the hunt here.
Thank you, guys. So who will end up the champion of the largest field in WPT history? The wait is over as the action is ready to resume here at Borgata. So let's look at the chip counts and get back to the game.
There you see Bobby Obuti well out in front, nearly half the chips in play with 4 players left.
More than double second place Jin Huang.
All these players going for their first ever WPT title. Action on Fred Goldberg. Fred, a World Series of Poker bracelet holder. Also the only player left that's made a WPT final table. Finished 4th at Foxwoods a few years back.
He's got to regroup. He's been raising a lot pre-flop, and anytime somebody's been 3-betting and coming over the top, he's been laying it down. So the next time he puts a raise in pre-flop, he's got to be able to draw a line in the sand and take the heat if he gets re-raised. So here we go.
Raising with those marginal hands. Getting re-raised and throws his hand away, meaning he gives up that money. Folded around to Jin Huang.
That's not a marginal hand.
Picked up ace king out of the big blind. This could spell total doom for Fred Goldberg.
What is Jin gonna do here?
Okay, I'm all in.
And again, the 3-bet over the top of Fred Goldberg. And as you mentioned time and time again, he's given up the pot in this spot. I just don't know if he's got enough chips to continue giving these up. At some point, you're just going to have to gamble for your chips and hope to double up to stay alive.
Is he going to draw a line in the sand here?
Nice hand.
No, says Fred Goldberg as he pitches the King 7.
Jin Huang got into this tournament by winning a $350 satellite. He's a businessman, owns a gas station and convenience store. Been playing poker 25 years, though, but this is his first ever WPT event.
Let's get a look at the prize payouts here. $922 grand for first. On deck, though, 4th place money, $280 and change. And let's, of course, not forget the Player of the Year points.
Yeah, whoever wins this tournament will be in 2nd place behind Will the Thrill Faella, who not only won the Legends of Poker, but finished 11th in this tournament. Almost made this final table.
Yeah, Will's on a real heater. 2 9s for Bobby Obuti, who opens the pot for a raise. Daniel Busgin gets out of the way, and upside down 9s for Jin Huang. Pocket 6s. $450 to call, which Jin does. And look at this, another pocket pair, Mike.
Well, Fred Goldberg with the 2 deuces, so 3 players out of 4 in this spot, they all have a pair. It's 2 9s, 2 6s, 2 deuces. And flop comes 10-8-3 with 2 spades. Bobby Obuti still out in front with the 2 9s. It's check to him. Wow, I am surprised he would check 2 9s there. That looks like a good flop to me for 2 9s.
Now the board pair's on the turn.
Why would you want an ace, king, queen, or jack to come off there? Well, if a guy bets, you got to give this hand up. I would have bet the flop if I'd have been Bobby. And Jin Huang betting on the turn now, and you don't blame me. He thinks the 6s are the best hand.
Yeah, firing about 1/3 of the pot, and Fred Goldberg can't help but call, and that lets Bobby Obuti fold the best hand.
Both of these guys thought Obuti had 2 big cards, something like king, jack, or ace, queen.
Oh, look at that river.
Well, this counterfeits both players, actually. Both players are playing 10s and 8s. Jin's kicker, the 6, is the best hand.
Yeah, his kicker actually plays, Mike. Fred is playing the board. 10s and 8s with a 3.
Jesus Christ.
So Jin Huang with just a 6 high, going to bet 1.1 million.
I hate to say it, but I wonder whether or not Jin knows he's been counterfeited, if he's paying enough attention here, if he's just firing on autopilot.
Oh, why didn't I shove the flop?
Well, we don't know that. This is first tournament cash ever, first WPT event.
It doesn't matter now. Goldberg lays down the deuces, obviously. And Jin takes the pot.
Jin Huang got in this tournament by winning a satellite, and he is doing quite well.
Wow. I don't know how I survived this far. So many times for the last several days. I probably push all in close to 30 times.
I'm all in.
All in?
Every time I push all in, I survived. So this is one of the luckiest tournament, in my life.
It's poker, baby.
Now, Mike, you know it takes skill to get to a final table, but a little luck never hurt anyone. What do they say? You'd rather be lucky than good, right?
Well, in the 10 years history of the WPT, only 2 players have come from the short stack in 6th position to take a WPT title. Could Jin Wong be the 3rd? We shall see. Back to the action. Daniel folded the ace-3 over to Jin Wong on the button.
Rallied his way from the short stack to 2nd in chips.
Looks down at ace, deuce of spade. He's going to raise it up. Makes it 675,000 to go.
I'm all in.
And Goldberg just looks down at 1 card, the ace, and he's going to ship it all in. That's all you need with the short stack.
But if you're the other players and notice they only looked at 1 card, you might presume it's an ace, but...
I call.
Look at this. Bobby Abudi is going to call. He wants to get involved here with King 10 suited.
I think Bobby saw he only looked at 1 card, number 1, and number 2. He figures if he calls, they've got 2 chances to knock the guy out. But no, shockingly, Jin folds his hand. Wow.
I got an ace right there. I don't know what this is. Come on.
He's getting over 6-1 on his money.
Bobby left the door wide open for Jin, and Jin didn't come in.
I had an ace.
What was your other card?
Well,
Buskin looks confused.
Those guys can't believe that he folded.
Yeah, ace with the 2 spades.
Because an unwritten rule in tournament poker, as you know, Ali, is when 1 guy's all in on the short stack and 2 guys call, they're not going to bet into a dry side pot unless they really make a hit, and therefore they're going to check it down to give themselves 2 chances to knock him out. Let's see if it would make a difference here. Flop comes 8-8-3. So far, Fred out in front with the ace-queen.
Ace-3. Ace-3.
Really?
Bobby's got 6 outs twice here, fishing for a king or a 10.
Just like checkers, king to turn. Let's go.
Yeah, let's put it up there. 10.
Here comes that turn card.
The 4 comes off. So far, so good for Fred Goldberg. A chance to more than double up here. He desperately needs it. Bobby Abudi must catch a king or a 10 on the river.
King of spades.
That's all he can catch to win this pot.
How about just
Anything
a black
else,
card?
and Fred doubles up.
And it's a 5, and look what would have happened.
I don't know why you folded, man.
You folded. I would have called. I would have made a
Yeah, I
straight.
understand. We both called. There's only 500,000 more. You check. I just.
Fred is telling him to stop. Don't wise the guy up, is what he's saying.
Nice hit, nice hit.
What did I win here?
Jin Wong folded the ace deuce of spade, which would have won him that pot.
I have no reason calling against,
What is this dude doing?
Yeah, you cannot call right there.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
These kids, they're just kids. They don't know.
You're not supposed to call, and I'm supposed to call it.
This guy calls.
With the king high.
With king high. Are you kidding me? You call me with a king. This guy opens and you flat.
You're not supposed to call with the king high in the middle.
It's only 500,000 more to you.
He's supposed to call.
It's
What's wrong with you?
It's 500,000 more, and you call and we check it down.
The inmates are running the asylum.
It's unbelievable.
We've got a lot planned for you tonight from Borgata, including a new edition of the Season 10 Ones to Watch, and hear what Tony Dunst has to say in the Raw Deal, and my 5 questions with the Season 8 Borgata Poker Open champion, Olivier Bousquet.
This has actually been a struggle for me throughout my poker career.
Being a Club WPT VIP is like having a backstage pass to the WPT because you get to interact with me and Matt.
That's right. You also get to play for your share more than $100,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs every month.
ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com.
Welcome to the Borgata Poker Open. This has to be a very exciting moment for you, being here playing live tournament poker in the WPT's biggest field ever.
I watch it all the time. I have fun watching those big pros all the time.
Anyone in particular that you'd like to meet or play with?
There's a lot of smart people in my table, and I'm just nobody. They're pushing me around, I think.
You have all week here, so I hope you brought your patients with you from Florida.
I hope to.
Thank you, Roman.
Thank you.
Roman Dvorakowski, a truck driver living in Florida, is the latest member of Club WPT to make his poker dreams come true. Roman had a fantastic experience here at Borgata, and it was all because he is a ClubWPT.com VIP member. At Club WPT, for only $19.95 a month, you too can become a VIP member. Now, this means you can get great VIP member benefits, play in as many tournaments as you want. Plus, you can even win a seat into a major WPT event and have a great VIP experience just like Roman. Check it out for yourself on ClubWPT.com and never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. Mike and Ali, fill us in on where we stand right now.
You can see the young pro from New Jersey, Bobby Abudi, still out in front with over 17 million in chips. Fred Goldberg on the short stack here. Action's been folded around to him. He's in the small blind.
Squeezing out Queen 10 off.
All right, I'm all in.
Been shipping it all in.
You want to sweat this with me?
Yeah, let's sweat together.
Right. So it looks like they're going to sweat together.
I call.
Let's go.
Bobby Abudi has 2 5s and makes the call.
I like it. The shift. Come on, baby. One time.
Classic race.
One time.
Fred slightly out in front.
We're racing.
Win tournaments, you got to win races. Who's going to win this race?
Sweat it with you guys.
We need to win.
Bobby heading over to his gallery.
Hold up. Come on, Danny.
Goldberg asking for a little positive juju.
Everybody on their feet here at Borgata. Here comes the flop.
5 o'clock.
Goldberg's tournament life on the line. And a queen right in the door. It's come Queen 8-3.
Neither player with a club. Flush draw. Not of concern.
See Bobby shaking his head. Well, 9 of clubs comes off.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. He only has one out. He only has one out, and then we can chop. Don't do it. Come on. It's a bad beat.
Bobby can only win the pot if the 5 of hearts comes up. Any club will give him a split pot.
Don't do it.
Goldberg thinking red here on the river.
Don't do it.
Well, here comes the river card. It's the 4 of clubs. They are both going to make a club flush and split this pot. Heartbreak once again for Fred Goldberg. No, we didn't get knocked out, but it feels like it when you lose with that hand.
Chop it up, all that.
Well, we may be in Jersey, but Goldberg just gave us a little French there under his breath. He is displeased.
That's not a win, buddy. That's not a win at all. That's a bad loss. It's a seriously bad loss.
Tension in the arena is rising as we get closer to crowning a WPT champion. But right now, let's break down tonight's action with Tony Dunst in this edition of The Raw Deal.
A few moments ago, we witnessed a botched opportunity by Jin Huang to eliminate Fred Goldberg, instead allowing him to nearly triple up.
What did I win here?
But what's really interesting is the table talk that develops after the hand, where 2 players believe the play is justified.
Yeah, you cannot call right there.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And the other 2 are shocked this could happen so deep in a tournament.
It's only 500,000 more to you.
So, who's right? Let's break it down. The hand begins with Jin Huang and Bobby Abudi holding the 2 largest stacks on the table. Fred Goldberg is stuck between them with a mere 4 blinds left. And when Jin raises the button to 675,000, and Fred moves in for about $500,000 more,
I'm all in.
Bobby makes the call from the big blind.
I call.
Although his call is later questioned,
You're not supposed to call with the king high in the middle.
Bobby makes this call for 2 reasons. First, although it can't be overtly stated as an intention or agreement between the players, Bobby assumes that most of the time, Jin will just call behind and they will check it down in an effort to eliminate Fred.
It's 500,000 more and you call and we check it down.
Second, although King 10 suited is by no means a massive hand, he knows that Fred will likely move in with a wide range, and in this spot, his hand will likely have good equity.
I'm all in.
Goldberg just looks down at 1 card, then he's going to ship it all in.
As a result, Jin indeed makes a foolish fold on the button, and here's why. 1, he's getting 6 to 1 on his money to make the call. 2, he's closing the action. And 3, he's in position for the rest of the hand, holding a suited ace.
Yeah, ace with 2 space.
I mean, what other pristine conditions would he demand to be willing to invest another 4% of his chips? I'll chalk Jin's fold up to inexperience.
I have no reason calling against,
More curious is the boisterous banter of Fred Goldberg after the hand, who ostensibly agrees with the fold and lectures Bobby for his call.
What's wrong with you? This guy opens and you flat. And he's saying he's supposed to call.
So as a viewer, one is left wondering, does Fred know it's a bad fold and is trying to level Jin by playing dumb?
Hey, you cannot call right there.
That's what I'm saying.
We both call. There's only 500,000 more.
Stop!
Now, Fred is telling him to stop. Don't wise the guy up.
Is he experiencing a moment of results-oriented elation and speaking out of emotion?
This guy calls.
With the king high.
With king high. It's unbelievable.
Or does he actually believe that was a good fold, meaning Fred and I will have an awkward bathroom encounter somewhere in the future where he confronts me for having insinuated that he has no idea what he's talking about?
It's unbelievable.
Well, we agree with Tony. Jin Wong should have made that call with the ace of spade, but the guy's an amateur player, doesn't play any tournaments, his first WPT event ever. He's just not going to know proper tournament strategies.
All in.
Fred Goldberg with the ace jack of diamonds is shipping it all in.
Cannot tango with you this time, man. I'm sorry.
All in.
Sorry, I can't call you.
All right, let's go.
I got 10 eye on you.
Jin knows enough to pitch that 10-7 offsuit here. Goldberg gets a little boost to his stack, but he still needs plenty of help as you see the chip counts there. He's sitting with less than 4 million and the blinds at 150 and 300. Never mind the ante of 30,000 every hand.
All four of these guys going for their first ever WPT title.
In the front table
Those
bowl, bro.
opportunities don't come along very often. You got to take advantage of it if you get here.
Bobby's taking advantage of an ace-9 offsuit four-handed. Makes it 600 to go.
Daniel and Jin go out.
Let's just throw it off a little bit and call.
Oh, we're gonna see a flop without the cards being.
Red defense, 10-9, dominated heading to the flop.
You know what? Go ahead, take it away, kid.
Just check dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fred checks dark and he's flopped top pair and a gut shot straight draw.
600,000.
All right, let's go all in.
And 600,000. Fred quickly goes all in and Bobby quickly calls. Bobby Obuti in great shape to eliminate Fred Goldberg from this tournament.
I'm winning. I have ace-9 against 9-10.
He's got him out kicked. Both players have 2 9s. Bobby has an ace kicker. Fred has a 10 kicker, but he does have a gut shot straight draw.
Let me get lucky one time.
Fred's looking for a 10 or an 8 here to jump into the lead in this pot.
Came 6-6 or 7-7 or another 9 in one of those cards. They would split this pot. But as it is, Fred Goldberg in dire straits.
5.
Well, there's one of the 7s. So if a 7 or a 9 comes up, they would split the pot. An 8 or a 10 comes up, Fred Goldberg will win the pot, but that's all he can win with.
Oh, you gotta make me sweat. You gotta make me sweat myself sweating it. 5.
Well, Fred's thinking a chop would be justice considering the clubs that Bobby pulled on him last time, but it's not to be.
Nope, it's a jack. So Fred Goldberg going out in 4th place, the tough player out of South Florida. You know, some days just aren't meant to be, Ali, and this is one of those days for Fred Goldberg.
He is taking home a $280K haul, though.
And right now, Fred's standing by at the Royal Flush Girl Social Bar. Let's hear what he has to say.
Got unlucky a couple times. Guy hit runner flush on me. I would have had a big chip lead, and just got unlucky. I got unlucky a few hands ago. I have flush on the board. I mean, what can you do? Can't really do much. He was embarrassed about his friends a little bit. They were a little unclassy. So nothing against him, just his crew just don't know how to behave.
Fred Goldberg out in 4th place just goes to show that even though you may come into a final table as the chip leader, it does not guarantee the win. Who will take down the coveted Borgata Poker Open title? Stick around for more action on the WPT.
Borgata really is amazing. Every time I come here, I have a great time. They make us feel like stars when we're here. How are you? This week, we went over to the Mixed Nightclub. We walked the red carpet and took a lot of pictures. And we hung out with the poker players. I'm Melissa. The pool at the water club is very glamorous. There's palm trees and lighting, and it's indoor. So no matter what the temperature is outside, I can still get a nice little swim in after the poker tournament. I always have such a great time whenever I'm at Borgata.
I don't know what the temperature is outside right now, but it just heated up in here, Mike.
Well, I guarantee you players have a great time here at Borgata if they're in that pool the same time the Royal Flush Girls.
Speaking of great times, Bobby Obuti smooth sailing up over 20 million in chips with the blinds at 2 and 400,000.
Once again, an amazing turnout here at Borgata, record-setting field, the largest ever in the history of the WPT.
A little limp from Bobby in the small blind with the ace. He's got Daniel in rough shape. with Jack 3 as they head to the flop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now here's the flop. Queen Jack, 8, 2 hearts.
Check.
Bobby checks. Daniel has made the best hand with 2 jacks.
And Daniel with middle pair. No kicker is going to check behind.
Doesn't want to fall in any traps here. Now a deuce comes off. And again, Bobby checks. Well, now Daniel feels like the jacks are the best hand, so he is going to fire a wager.
450,000, can't blame him.
Oh, and look at this. This is going to be a check raised by Bobby O'Booty.
Wow.
Folks, I guarantee you, if you're sitting in Daniel's seat right now, you're saying, oh, I can't believe it. And if I call this bet, what's he going to do to me on the river? Is he going to bomb the pot with more millions? I just can't take it.
That's right. It's not about what you're doing now. It's about what you're doing now and what you're going to have to do later. Daniel knows he's facing that dilemma and lets it go.
Nice bluff.
Well, this is a case that Daniel just got outplayed by Bobby O'Booty. No doubt about it. Great check raise there on the turn.
Bobby and Daniel are 2 young players going after this title, but included in this record-breaking field of 1,313 here at Borgata were some of the 7 young pros the WPT has singled out as having the combination of talent and charisma that can make them the next breakout stars in the game. Dan O'Brien, Maria Ho, Dylan Horton, and Ebony Kinney all competed this week in Atlantic City. So let's see how they fared in this edition of Ones to Watch.
I love to grind with sick degenerate.
I made it to the final table.
I'm a Ones to Watch, so that should be interesting.
Year? No. I think this year is my year.
I'll win one eventually. Day 1 at the Borgata World Poker Tour.
There's a lot of players here, probably a lot of amateurs. I'd say it's pretty soft overall. I'm pretty excited about it.
I can't win the tournament today, I can't win it tomorrow, so I just have to just give myself a chance and just stay at it.
Taking names this tournament, I'm taking names.
I'm here. I came from Vegas. Can't not play.
Dan O'Brien.
Dan O'Brien.
Dan O'Brien doesn't ring a bell.
Dan O'Brien. He seems cool. We've grinded together. He let me use his iPod a couple times.
Dan O'Brien's a very entertaining guy. You can usually spot him wearing some different colored neon sunglasses.
It's hard to say what type of player he is. Usually, you need to play with him a certain amount of time to really understand.
Well, he's from the school of Merce, and anyone who's from the school of Merce is going to play pretty good poker.
My best friends in poker are Jason Merce here, Alan Barry. You know, they've all had some success, and those are the people that I talk hands with mostly.
And they'll help them. They'll throw them pointers. They'll look at their hands. They'll tell them things that might take a regular player, you know, several months or a year, ever to learn.
When you're in a group where everybody is a good poker player and you're always talking strategy, you can't help but get better.
Jay and Alan are crucial to me, and I can always count on them to at least, you know, say something reasonable, even if we disagree.
They seem very cliquey, but they're really good poker players.
You're gonna get to the top the most quickly if you compete with and talk to and work with the best players.
You know, the camaraderie is great. It's good to have people in Vegas and people to hang out with on the road. I think that's easily the best way to learn how to play. So everything went against me now. The stars aligned, and that's it. I'm out of here. I'll be fine by the next one for sure. I'll be fine by tomorrow.
Well, Ali, as you know, these young guys that hang out together all the time, all they do is live, breathe, eat, sleep poker 24 hours a day. All they do is talk about hands. Naturally, you're going to become a better player hanging in a group like that.
I'm wondering who you hung out when you were coming up.
Oh, boy. Well, I hung out with old school pool hustlers mostly, if you want to know the truth about it. There weren't any young guns in. It was just old school guys that took you to school.
Bobby looking to take someone to school with king, queen offsuit. Opens the pot for a raise to 800,000. Couple of sevens for Daniel, though.
I'm all in.
Daniel's on the short stack here, and he's going all in with the 2 walking sticks.
Oh, look at this. Ace-king suited for gin. I smell fireworks.
Well, I don't see how you can lay this down.
I call.
Well, he has made the call.
Wow. Jesus. Can I get a count, please?
Bobby wants to know how much it is. Recognizes he could end this tournament right here if he could bust them both.
Well, this is an approximation. Was it like 12 million range or like?
Probably 10 million.
Actually, it's fine. I fold.
Just gonna get out of their way.
You fold, right? You gotta fold it.
I know.
And wisely so, as he was dominated.
You gotta pay.
Jin suspected he was up against a pair, and sure enough, another one of these races, Mike.
They just come up time and time again in tournament poker.
Best case scenario.
Yeah, it's ace-king
Best case
suited
scenario.
versus pocket pair. Now, the reason the percentages aren't closer is because Bobby folded a king and a heart.
That'll tip the scales a bit in Daniel's favor. Heading to the flop, will his sevens hold up? It's Queen 10-9 with a couple of clubs, 2-7 still in the lead. But Jin can jump out in front with a jack to make a straight or a king or an ace for a bigger pair.
Deuce of clubs.
Oh, that's not the greatest for 2-7s.
Come on, jack up.
Here comes the turn.
Jack up.
Oh, the jack comes off, but it is a jack of clubs. Daniel has a flush draw. It is not over.
We've seen Daniel pull this rabbit out of a hat once before. He looked like he was going to get eliminated, needed running spades and hit him. Can he hit the clubs?
Diamond.
Daniel must catch a club to win this pot. Can he do it? No, the seven of hearts comes off. He makes 3 sevens. Not going to be good enough to win this pot. That's going to do it for Daniel Buskin, the 26-year-old pro out of Marlton, New Jersey, out tonight in 3rd place.
Good luck, man.
We'll head over to shake hands with Jin Wong. And then head over to the cage to pick up his $335,000.
But before he picks up his cash, we'll grab a quick word with Daniel over at the Royal Flush Girl Social Bar.
That's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was really card dead and just with no chips ever to really do anything at the last few stages. It's kind of frustrating, but lose a flip, you lose a flip, so can't really do anything else.
With Daniel Buskin out in 3rd place, we're set to crown the Season 10 Borgata Poker Open champion. Will it be Jin Huang or Bobby Abudi who takes the WPT Champions Cup? We'll be right back with heads-up action on the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com.
Well, good luck, man.
Good luck to
You
you.
play great, too.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Season 10 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Sunita Kim, one of the Royal Flush Girls. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour.
Here we go to the river. Who's going to get lucky? There it is. It is over. Wow.
He was known as a small stakes rounder, the king of the minor leagues. But at the Season 9 Borgata Poker Open, Dwight Pilgrim made a bold prediction that he would prove the doubters wrong. Seizing his moment in the spotlight, Pilgrim put on an all-star performance, combining strong fundamentals,
I think I don't understand every facet of this game.
rash confidence,
Negative clock for this foolishness.
and the heart of a
You
champion
can't put 10 million with a deuce in your hand. You ain't playing poker.
that showed he deserved the respect of the poker world.
Well, Dwight leads out and gets the guy to move all in. And Vince, he is a huge favorite to take this title he's dreamed about so long right here, right now.
We 8% away from a title.
And a 5 comes up. He has done it, Vince. Dwight Pilgrim has shocked the world and taken his title.
In the end, Dwight Pilgrim's emotional victory silenced his critics, fulfilled a dream, and etched his entry to the major leagues. On to the WPT Champions Cup.
The WPT 10th season is giving us a great opportunity to revisit classic moments like that one you just saw. But here in Atlantic City, some brand new poker memories are in the works. We're back in action, so let's get down to Mike and Ali.
As is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to heads-up play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money!
Well, here it comes. Look at all that beautiful cash. This stuff looks heavy, Mike.
How about looking at the beautiful Royal Flush Girls bringing it out?
Yes, sir. It's going to take a few trips to get that almost $1 million to the table, $922,000 and change to be exact.
Don't forget about second place money of over $550,000. That's on the table as well.
And here comes the WPT Champions Trophy and Players Award. Girls are looking good, holding it down. There they are, Melly Grace, Sunisa, Melissa, and Jennifer. Thank you, ladies.
We're almost ready for heads-up action between Bobby Abudi and Jin Huang for the Borgata Poker Open title. During the break, Ali Najad had a chance to check in with Bobby Abudi.
Here with Bobby Abudi, he's the chip leader heading into heads-up play. Was second when the final table started. He's here on his home turf in South Jersey. What does it mean to be playing for the title, my man?
I mean, I can't really put it into words right now. It's a pretty surreal experience, and I guess it's not even going to hit me until it's over. Like, even being six-handed, going to the final table, like, it's just not even real. It's just, you know, like, if you're a poker player, this is the ultimate stage, so, I mean, I'm just pretty thrilled with how things are going so far.
We'll soon be etching a new name on the WPT Champions Cup, so let's get back to the action with Mike and Ali.
Well, there you see the chip count. Bobby Abudi out in front with 22 million. Jin Huang starting out with 17 million.
Not a huge gap between them, especially with the blinds where they are. And Jin's first hand is a good one, Mike.
Yep, he's got the two jacks. Powerful hand in heads-up play. And he is going to raise it. Makes it 960,000 to go. Now Bobby Abudi going to make the call with the 7-jack of spade.
960.
Must think 7-11's lucky. Let's see if it is.
He's dominated and in real bad shape heading to this flop.
And flop comes king 10-7, so Bobby's flop bottom pair. He's going to check.
Jin knows what to do. He's firing 950,000.
And quickly called by Bobby.
Bobby knows it's hard to make a pair, and he's got one.
So here we go to the turn card. Now 3 of diamonds comes off. Bobby checks. That looked like a safe card. There's no possible straight card. Not much to it, so Jin's going to bet again. 1.5 million.
Into a pot of almost 4 million, and that'll spell the end for Bobby Abudi.
Yeah, that's a good laydown by Bobby right there.
First pot goes to Jin.
So he does things a little bit unorthodox, but yet here he is fighting it out for this title.
Yeah, he's a zigger when you expect people to be zagging.
Now, all night long, we've felt like Bobby Abudi has played the best poker at this final table. But in truth, he came to this final table with over 11 million chips. He's starting with 23 million. So essentially, he just doubled his chip stack. Whereas Jin, on the other hand, multiplied his chip stack by 8 before he got to this heads-up battle.
I got to be honest, Mike. It's hard not to root for the underdog. He's got Queen Jack suited here and defends his big blind against Bobby's pre-flop raise. A min raise with 7-5 off.
This shows you that satellite players, amateur players, can hang with the big boys every once in a while.
Davids do beat Goliaths from time to time. Meanwhile, the flop is King Jack 7. Jin with the best hand. Checked it to Bobby, who bet it. Now Jin's going to call the $500,000.
Well, again, Bobby's got 2 7s, and Jin's got 2 jacks.
Board pairs on the turn. Jin slips it to Bobby.
And again, Bobby's going to bet. I think he's put Jin on some type of drawing hand.
Jin's going to call the 600,000.
Yeah, Bobby got to be a little worried about that. And now an 8 comes off, meaning if his opponent had a 9-10, he's made it straight.
2 pair.
Yeah, Bobby says 2 pair, but it's not going to be good enough. Kings and jacks are going to win this pot, and with it, the 52-year-old amateur from Maryland, Jin Huang, has taken the chip lead here at Borgata. And you know, Ali, only twice in WPT history has a short stack entering the final table gone on to win the title. I'm talking about the 2 guys that have done it, Alex Gomez and Phil Locke. Can Jin become the 3rd player to accomplish this amazing feat? We'll find out when we return on the World Poker Tour.
We're back at the Borgata Poker Open, and we're getting closer to crowning a WPT champion. In 10 seasons on the WPT, we have seen some hard-fought heads-up battles, but none as spectacular as the one we witnessed 2 seasons ago right here at Borgata. Olivier Busquet's heroic come-from-behind victory to take down a WPT title was one for the record books. This week, I had a chance to go heads-up with Olivier myself in this edition of 5 Questions. I heard a story that part of the motivation for you to move out of your father's home was because he canceled the channel that aired the WPT.
That is a 100% true story. I had this, I guess, semi-obsession with the World Poker Tour when I was kind of learning how to play poker.
I love that it's not like, I'm 24, it's time for me to go. Oh no, my dad canceled the channel that airs the WPT.
No, I mean, my situation was great at the time. You know, I had no expenses and I was like, you know, doing my thing, but I was like, why did you do that?
2 years ago, at the Borgata Poker Open, you're heads up with Jeremy Brown, 19-1 underdog. Did you think that you had any chance of taking that down?
At that point, you know, it wasn't so much that I didn't think I had a chance.
Jeremy Brown has 94% of the chips in play. That is a massive chip lead.
I knew that no matter what happened, I would have to kind of get lucky, and a lot of different things would have to work out for me. So I was fortunate enough that they did.
Describe the emotion that you felt making that comeback and taking that WPT title.
Winning Borgata there were kind of a bunch of different emotions that kind of went into it.
Well, Olivier knows he's one card away from winning this title. He's done it. Olivier has made the greatest comeback in the history of the World Poker Tour.
It was kind of overwhelming. I mean, you even see that, like, I shed a couple tears just because I was so happy to actually win the WPT at the time. Was just, you know, like I said, it was like a dream that just came true for me.
You just got married?
Yeah.
Are you focusing on your own personal life?
This has actually been a struggle for me throughout my poker career. It's been leaving the game when I'm not playing. For me, I've kind of developed over time a better and better ability to do that, kind of not taking my work home with me, so to speak. My wife is a big part of that, but it's still hard. I mean, poker is an emotional game. Sometimes I can get a little bit too consumed with it.
Have you seen our WPT Champions Cup?
I have, yes. I actually saw my name on one of the tiles. That was cool. I actually saw it in Paris at the WPT and the Aviation Club.
It has the winning hand too, it's cool. I like that. Yeah, that's awesome.
But there's one list of champions, and there's a lot of people that have won WPTs over the years. There's a much, much smaller list of people who have won more than one, and I would really love to be able to join that elite group within elite group.
Olivier Bousquet, a class act in the poker world, great WPT champion, great poker player. But Ali, what I really like about the guy is the advice he gives all the young guys that are thinking about turning pros. He says, stay in college, get your education first.
Yeah, the reality is that such a small percentage of players that endeavor to succeed on a lifetime basis in poker will be able to do so. Nice to have a fallback plan. Don't need a fallback plan with ace-queen suited, though. Blinds at 250 and 500,000 with a 50K ante.
Playing heads up, you're ready to go to war with this hand, that's for sure.
Raising it up to 1.15 million. Oh, and you'd love to be up against ace-jack, as Jin is here.
Bobby does not re-raise with the ace-jack here.
I think he wants to play small pots with Jin. I think Bobby feels he can outplay him post-flop.
Well, he's smart to use that strategy.
9 high rainbow board. Bobby O'Booty checks his ace-jack over to Jin here. Jin fires the continuation bet.
Well, 1.1 million, and Bobby calls here.
This pot already up to 4.7 million.
Oh, and the jack comes off. On the turn, Bobby O'Booty now has the lead. Again, he checks.
Oh, and he would love to see a decent-sized bet out of Jin here on the off chance that he'd be taking rope and firing with air. And he does have a straight draw.
Well, a lot of guys would check the straight draw right there. Just hope to get a free card to make it, but not Jin. He's firing out 2.25 million.
Hard to imagine if you get called here, your hand is any good.
And Bobby's going to make the call.
9.2 in the middle, Mike. This is a mammoth pot.
Whoever wins this pot will be the massive chip leader in this heads-up battle. And the 3 of spade comes off.
Big, huge brick for Jin.
Yeah, O'Booty is checked.
But Jin knows better than to fire a third barrel at this point. Jack.
Well, Bobby's going to realize how lucky he was to win this pot now. Wow. Ace-queen versus ace-jack. There you see his expression.
Camp O'Booty doesn't care if it's luck-based or skill-based. They just want an excuse to hoot and holler.
And Ali, when you win a pot like that, sometimes you just think destiny's on your side. It's going to be your day to take down this title.
Well, it certainly feels like it's been his final table just about the whole way to this point. Bobby on the button with queen deuce of spades.
He limps in and calls. As you said, probably trying to keep the pot small, but no thank you, says Jin Wong.
I call.
I've got Kojak. I don't believe you can beat it. I'm going to raise here.
And Bobby's going to call the extra 750, Mike. He just wants to play in position and take flops.
Let's see if it works out for him here. Flop comes 7-6-6 with 2 spades. Bobby has the flush draw, but Jen has the best hand with the king high, and it goes check, check on the flop. And the jack of spades comes.
Oh boy, look at
This
that.
not only gives Bobby a flush, it gives Jen jacks up.
Now think about it. Had Bobby bet on the flop, Jin might have gotten away from the hand.
1.6 million.
Because he checked, he gives Jin a chance to hit a card that he's going to be able to call Bobby's $1.6 million bet here.
I don't know that he's going to just call it. Bobby might have 1 spade in his hand. He might have a jack with a weaker kicker. Might be on a stone bluff. Jen trying to put all this together and solve this puzzle. I don't see him getting away from this hand, not when that jack comes off on the turn. Question is, how much is he going to put in the pot?
Well, let's gamble. I'm all in.
Well, how about all of it?
Well, he's going to gamble all in. Well, that got Bobby's attention, but I don't see how you can throw a flush away here playing heads up.
He's going to triple check it.
I call.
Well, he has made the call. He turns up the flush.
Got it.
Well, Jin needs a world of help here. Doesn't have a ton of outs.
He now needs to catch a jack or a 6. Nothing else will do for him. Must make a full house to win this pot.
Can't win if it's a spade.
Well, there you see Bobby over with his boys.
You can't win if it's a spade, man. Spade out and it's over.
Saying, please let me hang on and dodge a jack or
Spade out,
6.
it's over.
One time.
One
Spade,
card
come on,
away
lady.
from
Spade,
922,000.
spade,
Can he
spade,
make it happen?
Well, the 3 of spade comes off. That's going to do it. Bobby O'Booty has done it. He has captured the WPT title that he's been striving for.
Thank you very much. Nice play.
Well earned and well deserved. Jin heads over to chat with the family, and I'm going to head over to get some words with our second place finisher.
Jen Wong got in this tournament on satellite. Was close to being eliminated several days in this tournament. Even checked out of the hotel once. Didn't think he'd last. Ali, take it.
Here with our second place finisher, Jin Huang. Jin, I know that you had a dream that you were going to win this particular event. It didn't work out for you. Tell me what's going through your head.
Well, still I'm so, satisfied with my play.
Well, Jin, I tell you what, if every time I ran down I was taking home $550,000, I'd be a happy camper too. Congratulations.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm so happy there.
All right, back over to you, Mike.
Well, Bobby, you did it. You came to this final table in good chip position. You remain calm, cool, and collected throughout. You got to feel great about the way you not only played this final table, but all week long.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no words. I'm just fumbling over my words. I have nothing to say. I mean, I don't know. Wait. Yeah, I do have something to say. I did prepare something for this moment, a speech I like to say about how it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, and it's honestly about time that I've won this. So.
Well, in addition to the $922,000 you take home, you're also going to get your name engraved on the WPT Champions Cup. It's going to go up there with the Legends of Poker. You got to be proud about that.
Yeah, absolutely. What more can you ask for than to be lumped in with those group of guys too? I'm probably better than all of them, but people will find it out real soon. People will find it out.
Well, once again, congratulations on your win. Kimberly, back up to you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Bobby O'Booty, the Season 10 Borgata Poker Open champion and the winner of the largest tournament in WPT history. Please join us next time as the WPT moves up the East Coast for another huge event, the Foxwoods World Poker Finals. Until then, from Mike Sexton, Ali Najad, Tony Dunst, the Royal Flush Girls, and the entire WPT team, including our friend Vince Van Patten, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching and good night.
The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Winning a WPT title can make a poker player's career. Winning 2 puts you among the best the game has ever seen. In the heart of New England, 5 players stand between a WPT champion and his quest to etch his name for a second time on the WPT Champions Cup. The Foxwoods World Poker Finals starts right now, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing.
He is circling the drain.
They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He would love to knock this loudmouth out.
Unbelievable.
Over the past 10 seasons, only 15 players have won more than a single WPT title, but of those 15, 5 of them claimed a title right here in Connecticut. Now, Foxwoods Casino, a WPT charter member, has been host to some of the greatest tournaments and greatest names in World Poker Tour history. Corkins, Little, and Seidel all won titles here, but Foxwoods has also seen its share of amateurs make their mark. As this tournament got underway, the field was ready to battle for a $1.7 million prize pool and a chance to have their name set alongside the game's very best. As the 10th annual WPT World Poker Finals got underway, the field featured the usual WPT strong mix of high-stakes professional players and local amateurs.
Welcome, players, to the World Poker Finals at Foxwoods. Now let's shuffle up and deal.
Day 1 featured 13 former WPT champions, including 3 two-time winners, all aiming to etch their names on the Champions Cup one more time. One recent WPT champion who arrived at Foxwoods with a knee injury and an interesting new hairstyle ran into serious trouble early on in the day. Season 10 Legends of Poker winner Will Fiala was on the losing end of a huge pot. His stack was reduced to just 3 chips and his tournament seemed short-lived. Although his chip stack had taken a huge hit, his confidence remained high.
Here comes trouble.
And he made a promise borrowed from his good friend, Dwight Pilgrim.
I hope I'm the shortest stack, because when I win this, I'm going to shake up the world.
In perhaps the wildest hand of the day, 3 players saw a flop of 4-3-3 with 2 hearts. The turn card was the 8 of hearts, and that's where the fireworks began. After 2 checks, Peter Politano bet out $13,000 and was called by Tim Leahy, who was all in for his last $12,000. The action fell to Season 9 Foxwoods finalist Nikolai Yakovenko, who went into the tank and finally open-folded an ace-high flush. With Nikolai out of the hand, the other 2 players turned over their hands. Tim Leahy turned over pocket 4s for a flopped full house, but was crushed by Peter's flopped quad.
That's what I folded on the turn, right there.
Amazingly, the 5 of hearts on the river would have given Nikolai a straight flush to beat both players.
I know it was coming too. I said, I know the hand is coming. I know the straight flush is coming.
Tim Leahy, who was also celebrating his birthday, sounded off online about his terrible beat. One former champ on a tear was Season 9 Player of the Year Andy Frankenberger. Andy found success throughout the day, knocking out players and raking in chips.
Day 1, it's nice to start out well, but it's all about how it goes from here. Knock on wood, last time I had a big Day 1 was the event where I won my bracelets.
When the day ended, after 5 levels of play, 141 players remained. Tom Schreiber held the chip lead with 104,000. Andy Frankenberger was in 4th, and 6-time WPT finalist Kathy Liebert in 5th with 90,000 in chips. 4 former Foxwoods champs all finished the day in the middle of the pack, keeping their hopes of becoming the first player to ever win the same event twice still alive. Legends champ Will Fiala limped into Day 2 in more ways than one.
Still the favorite. Still the favorite. It is now 34-50. All in.
He has all the chips in the middle. It's a fantastic moment for poker.
But his chance at an epic comeback was not to be, and he was one of the first players eliminated. Andy Frankenberger continued his winning ways and took the chip lead after flopping a set of 10s to increase his chip stack.
We're gonna make it happen today. It's gonna be a fun day.
Dwight Pilgrim may have finally met his match in the trash-talking department, as amateur player and pawn shop owner Bob Carbone kept things entertaining at the table.
The old man. Yeah, you in trouble, boy. Well, I still can fight, you know.
Another player quietly starting to amass chips was Season 7 WPT World Championship finalist Christian Harder. Christian, a poker pro from Maryland who had been a mainstay on the tour for the past few years, took the chip lead from Andy Frankenberger midway through level 6. But Christian's lead was short-lived. In a pot with Borgata finalist Darren Elias, he went all in on a flop with Jack 10-3 with pocket aces, but was quickly called by Darren's set of 10s. No help on the turn or the river sent Darren into the chip lead, and Christian was left with less than 50,000.
I lost the big pot to Darren Elias,
But in the span of a level, you're back to 140 again.
yeah, 130-ish.
However, Christian was able to fight his way back up and finish the day 6th in chips. Andy Frankenberger took 2nd place with Dan Kolpois in 1st with 246,000 in chips. Darren Elias lost half his stack late in the day and finished in 18th place. The final table is almost underway here at Foxwoods, but first, we still have more coverage of the early play here. Will 2 former WPT Players of the Year make it to this final table? Find out right after this.
As a Club WPT VIP, you get exclusive inside access to the WPT and can play for your share of more than $100,000 in monthly cash and prizes, including WPT seats. Check out ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Welcome back to Season 10 of the World Poker Tour. Our expanded playdown coverage continues as we get closer to the start of the Foxwoods World Poker Finals final table.
Oh my God.
The bust-outs on day 3 were quick in coming as play got underway.
Good luck, boys.
One of the first people eliminated was Season 9 Foxwoods defending champion Jeff Forrest.
Oh man, this is definitely one of the toughest fields all year. You know, every time I come here, it's this year and last year, it's just, I look around and there's not a lot of soft tables.
All in.
Another early bust-out was delivered by young pro Daniel Santoro, who knocked out Club WPT.com online qualifier Don Burwell when Daniel's set of 10s held up against Don's gut shot straight draw. Don finished short of the money, but it was an impressive deep run for our Club WPT.com online qualifier.
Day 3, just a kid with a dream.
Dwight's tournament was ended by poker pro Bernard Lee when his ace-9 failed to improve against Bernard's pocket queens.
Without a lot of talk, right? Yeah, you already said you had me beat. You shouldn't have said that. First time was funny. Second time's starting to get a little annoying now.
Bob Carbone, who had been warned about talking too much at the table, especially while in the middle of a hand, resorted to a new tactic.
Make the world go away. Who are you just singing?
We may never know if Mike folded because he thought he was beat or if he just wanted Bob to stop singing. As the money bubble approached, the field was packed with big names. 2-time champs Hoyt Corkins, Jonathan Little, and Cornell Simpan were all still in the hunt for their 3rd title. Former WPT champions Andy Frankenberger and Lee Marcolt were looking to add a 2nd title to their already impressive resumes. With 28 players left, Alistair Melville was all in for his last 3,500 against Christian Harder. Christian turned straight and eliminated Alistair in 28th place. With that hand, the bubble was burst and the remaining 27 players were guaranteed at least $19,000 for their showing. At the end of the day, Andy Frankenberger had a huge stack of over $650,000, almost $200,000 more than the 2nd place finisher, former Foxwoods finalist Jack Schonbacher. Day 4 saw 2 powerhouses collide early on as one Foxwoods champ, Hoyt Corkins, sent another to the rail, ending Cornell Simpan's deep run.
It was tough, but lucky to sneak in the money.
Pawn shop owner Bob Carbone and reigning player of the year Andy Frankenberger got into several heated hands. Bob doubled through Andy, then Andy doubled through Bob, leaving Bob with just a few chips. But Bob doubled through Andy one more time to get back in the hunt. Both players would ride the chip roller coaster all day and survive day 4. It looked like high-stakes cash game pro Matt Glantz would double up, but with no help on the turn and river, Matt's tournament run ended in 12th place.
Good luck for you guys. Hope you do well. Now 12th yet again. 2nd 12th in the WPT in a row, and it's pretty standard for me lately.
In his 2nd battle of the day against a 2-time champ, Hoyt found a big hand pre-flop, but was outflopped by Jonathan Little. Jonathan's hand held up and sent the Foxwoods champ from Season 2 packing in 10th place.
I was trying to make it through today, almost did, but, you know, just couldn't win the key hands.
Day 4 ended with just 8 players, with the hopes of having 2 WPT Players of the Year for the first time in history at a final table. But at the top of the charts were 2 young pro players, Christian Harder and Daniel Santoro, each with over $1 million in chips. 3 local players and 5 seasoned pros took their seats at the start of Day 5. 2 players would have the unfortunate distinction of finishing just short of the WPT televised final table. Early in the day, local player and ER physician Eli Berg, one of the shorter stacks, went all in with Ace-Jack and was quickly called by Jonathan Little's Pocket Kings. With no improvement on the flop, Eli was on the verge of elimination, but he caught an ace on the turn to double up and cripple Jonathan's chip stack. A few hands later, Jonathan found himself all in and dominated when his 5-9 of hearts ran into local grinder Stephen Brackesy's ace-5 offsuit. No help on the board sent Jonathan to the rail after a strong showing, denying him the chance of a 3rd plaque on the Champions Cup.
They're both pretty standard spots. I mean, like the guy's never folding ace-jack, and I'm never not pushing 9-5 suited on the button for my stack, so standard spots, you just gotta win them sometimes.
With 1 elimination away from the TV final table, poker pro Chris Klodnicki called Stephen Brackesy's all-in flop bet with top pair against Stephen's nut flush draw. A king of diamonds on the turn put a dagger in the hopes of Chris's chances on making his first WPT final table, sending Stephen into the chip lead. And with Chris's bust out, the televised final table was set. The 6 included 4 first-time WPT finalists and 2 players with the experience of playing under the bright lights. Season 7 WPT Championship finalist Christian Harder and Season 9 Player of the Year Andy Frankenberger, who was still in the hunt to join the exclusive club of 2-time WPT champions. As you can see, the final 6 players are split down the middle with 3 professionals and 3 seasoned locals. Now, after 5 days of play, they've all proven that they have what it takes to win a WPT title. So for more insight into our final 6, let's turn it over to our world-class analysts, Hall of Famer Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten.
Well, Kimberly, should be a great final table tonight. We've got the 3 pro players in seats 1, 2, and 3. They're the 3 chip leaders, but we've also got 3 successful businessmen who have made it to this final table. Starting out in 4th chip position tonight is a 62-year-old amateur player from Westerly, Rhode Island, Bob Carboni. Now, Bob's a pawnbroker, and he got in this tournament by winning a $250 satellite. He is entertaining, and he'll be fun to watch tonight. Starting out in 5th place tonight is another amateur player, Eli Berg. Eli's a doctor. He's an emergency physician from Newton, Massachusetts. He's married with 5 children. And Vince, how can you root against somebody that's got 5 kids? Starting out in 6th place tonight is the reigning WPT Player of the Year, Andy Frankenberger. Now, Andy is a former derivatives trader in New York. He's turned to poker. He's a WPT champion. This is his 3rd WPT final table. And even though he's starting out in the short stack tonight, he's hoping that his experience will bode well for him tonight.
And Kimberly, I'll tell you something, it's always fun to watch these gritty New Englanders with their strange dialects compete for this title. This is going to be fun. Seat number 1 is the chip leader right now, and his name is Stephen Brackesy. He has 1.8 million in chips. He's a fine poker pro. He used to be into construction, and tonight he would like to cement his way into WPT history. Then moving over to seat number 2, we have a 25-year-old from Belmore, Long Island. He's a poker pro. Daniel Santoro, he's got about 1.2 million in chips. Seat number 3 is Christian Harder. We've seen him before here on the World Poker Tour. He finished 4th at the WPT Championship. He's a great player, and he's got a lot of chips tonight, close to 1.3 million. So I have to say, with that chip stack, it is going to be easier, not harder, for him to take down this title, Mike. You get it?
Oh, boy. And with that, let's send it down to Matt Savage, who's standing by with the reigning WPT Player of the Year, Andy Frankenberger.
Thanks, Mike. I'm here with Andy Frankenberger. Now, it was only a year ago that you decided to turn pro, and already a WPT coveted title. You have a World Series of Poker bracelet. You also are the reigning Player of the Year for the World Poker Tour. Now, this is your 3rd final table. What do you attribute all this young career success to?
Well, I guess I'm pretty new to the poker world, but the type of thinking we do at the poker table is very similar to the type of thinking I did in my career as a derivatives trader. So I was dealing with a lot of pressure, a lot of difficult decisions, as my former colleagues over there will attest. I worked in a very confrontational, difficult environment, so the poker's new to me, but the intensity and that type of experience is actually right what I've been doing for the past 15 years.
Now you start today as a short stack. We'll be looking to get it all in early.
Well, I wouldn't want to reveal any of my strategy in front of those sharks over there, but let's just say I'm looking to chip up.
All right, Kimberly, over to you.
Well, Andy knows what he has to do to take down another WPT title. All right, making a WPT final table is a huge accomplishment in any player's career, but being the last man standing is what they'll be remembered for. The battle begins when the final table of the Season 10 Foxwoods World Poker Finals begins right after this.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, the final table here at Foxwoods.
After 5 days of grueling competition, we are down to our final 6 players. And with me in the booth tonight, as always, Vince Van Patten.
Well, thank you, Mike. It is good to be back here at Foxwoods, where there's always something good to do and something fun. But tonight, I am interested to see whether Andy Frankenberger will take down his second WPT title. The Andys are going to start at 2,000. Blinds are 6 and 12. The cards are in the air. Let's go to the felt.
Well, there you see our chip leaders. Steve Brackesy, 39-year-old pro out of Waltham, Massachusetts, out in front. Christian Harder, tough pro from Annapolis, Maryland, in second place.
All right, action going to Bob Carboni, the pawn shop man. Learned poker at a WPT boot camp. And now he's competing for the big bucks here. He's going to fold his hand. Andy Frankenberger.
Well, he's the man everybody's watching at this final table, going for his second WPT title, the reigning WPT Player of the Year.
Yep, he's got ace, deuce of diamonds, and he's raised to 30,000.
Emergency position. Eli Berg goes out.
Brackesy and Daniel Santoro also going away, and now it's on Christian Harder, and he's picked up the weapons of mass destruction. The pair of aces on the very first hand, Mike.
Incredible. First deal at the final table, you're in the big blind. A guy's raised, you look down and find 2 aces.
Looks like a re-raise. He's going to pop it back up, 72,000 into Andy.
Andy Frankenberger better be very careful here. He's an aggressive player, but his day could end early if he gets crazy with this hand.
He's got enough money to speculate here, you would think, but no, he's going to release, and that's a great fold by him.
Andy going for his second WPT title tonight. He's the reigning WPT Player of the Year, and that's a high honor as you can get out here on the World Poker Tour to perform better than the entire poker world over the course of a season.
No one gave him much respect. You know, he came out of the stock market business and Wall Street, and they just thought he was an amateur player, but he has proved them so wrong.
All in.
Frankenberger's going to put a little extra ketchup on the burger.
The success I've had at the WPT is something I could have never predicted when I started playing poker.
Andy Frankenberger taking down the legends of poker.
Each season has a whole bunch of tournament winners, but there's only one Player of the Year every year, and that shows that there's been a certain level of consistency throughout the year.
Andy Frankenberger, Season 9 WPT Player of the Year. Congratulations.
And in my first professional year to win Player of the Year, that to me is something that stands out as my single greatest accomplishment.
Taking a look at the Player of the Year race, Will the Thrill Fiala, who won the Legends of Poker tournament in LA and took 11th place at Borgata, is currently in the lead with 1,600 points. Now, whoever wins tonight's event will earn 1,000 points and be in contention for the Season 10 POY. Remember, we'll be tracking this race all season long, so be sure to check back with us each week. In the meantime, let's get back to the game with Mike and Vince.
All right, action on Andy, this time with a King 5. Won't play that hand. Here's the ER Dr. Eli Berg. He also goes away. Stephen Brackesy out.
Now it's on the pro now. 25-year-old Daniel Santoro with the pitiful 9-deuce offsuit.
He's also got the whole Beatles Let It Be type of look with the hair and the mustache.
Oh, boy.
And he is going to raise with a junk hand. Makes it 47,000 to go. Christian out, and the pawn man, Bob Carboni, with a King 9.
What a story he is. He got in this tournament on a $250 satellite. He's a pawn broker for 26 years.
Learned his poker at a WPT boot camp. He's going to raise it, makes it 47,000 to go. Back on Santoro.
He obviously sensed weakness. Came back over the top with a King 9 offsuit, but incredibly, Carboni is being called here by Santoro's 9-deuce.
Flop comes up Jack 4 deuce. Santoro picking up deuces. Carboni nothing.
40.
Carboni's going to make the continuation bet. Sticking out 40,000. Will it work? Santoro not going anywhere. He's made this call. Just deuces.
Oh, the 9-deuce before the flop. You flop some of it, so you do make the call. An ace comes off.
Helps neither player. Bob going to check.
It's gone check, check. Now a 3 comes off and another club as well.
Check. And they're happy to check again, and Daniel Santoro going to slop in there with a pair of deuces and win this pot.
Well, he is going to be shocked to win this pot with 2 deuces. And right now, the pawnbroker saying to himself, I can't believe this young guy called my re-raise with a 9-deuce offsuit.
Blackjack, you know?
What is going on here? There you see the new Royal Flush Girl Social Bar. Club WPT VIP members get privileged seating at these Royal Flush Girl bars, so it pays to be a Club WPT VIP member.
It is a great addition we have here on season 10. Back to the table, Eli Berg, an ER doctor, father of 5, picks up king, queen.
You got 4 boys and a girl. Plays a fair amount of poker. His 15th WPT event, his second cash, first final table.
And the doctor is going to fire it, looks like.
Yep, going to raise right under the gun. Makes it 36,000 to go.
Stephen Brackesay out. Let it be, man.
Round to Santoro. Won the last pot with a 9-deuce, but folds a 10-9 here.
Now it's on Christian Harder. And he looks down at, oh man, can you believe this? Again!
Incredible.
Pair of aces twice.
Folks, you're supposed to pick up 2 aces on average once every 220 hands. He's had them twice already at this final table.
He has been raised, and this time he's just going to call, probably because Andy folded last time when he had aces. Now he's going to try to slow play it.
Well, a dangerous play in my mind, because now the blinds are priced to come in, so now you got to beat a couple players.
Bob out.
Rather than just one.
Andy is going to call.
Now Frankenberger does make the call out of the big blind, so let's see how this slow play works out for Harder. Now, so far, so good as it comes king 7-7. Frankenberger checks.
Well, Eli hits a pair of kings. This could be beautiful for Christian Harder.
Yep, the doctor could get operated on here. Well, looks like a good flop for him. He's got to think the only way he can be beat here is if somebody flopped 3 sevens. Not going to put somebody on an ace-king or 2 aces because nobody raised before the flop, so he's got to like this flop.
He's bet 73,000. Christian, of course, with the overpair. Oh, he's just going to massage him, makes the call.
Now Christian again does not raise with the 2 aces.
Andy out.
Just calls.
Yep, going to the turn. This is dangerous territory.
The 10 comes off.
And the ER doctor is going to check.
I don't think Christian's going to put him on a 7. Yes, there's a chance he could have 2 kings, but
104,000 by Christian with the aces.
I'm all in.
Uh-oh.
He has gone all in, and Harder not liking that. Afraid the guy might have kings 4, flop 3 sevens.
I call.
But he makes the reluctant call, and he's going to love it. Christian out in front with the aces, and the ER doctor is going to need a transfusion or a very lucky river card.
Well, you're right about that, but you can't blame him for how he played this hand because Harder slow played his aces before the flop and on the flop.
I thought you did.
He camouflaged them about as good as you can. And unfortunately for the doctor, it could spell big trouble.
Yep, down to the river. Here we go.
Well, the doctor on the respirator right now. Got to catch a king to stay alive or he'll be heading back to the emergency room.
River card. Can Eli Berg get lucky? Nope.
Well, that's a 7. Even though Eli made 7s full of kings, that's not good enough. As Christian Harder had the 2 aces.
Yeah, tough beat. Fine gentleman out in 6th place. Eli Berg.
All right, Christian.
The doctor gonna suture up 83,000. Just like that, we are down to 5. And right now, Eli's over to talk to Matt Savage.
Well, Eli, you didn't quite go like you wanted today, but, you know, you got a lot of back at home to get back to.
Yeah, you know, it was very short, but that's what happens sometimes, and had a great time getting here. You know, hope to come back someday and wish everyone luck and had a great time. So,
Well, I'm sure we'll see you again on the World Poker Tour. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's always nice to see when an amateur comes out to play with the pros and still has a good time doing it. Even though he's out in 6th place, we're down to 5 players right here at the World Poker Finals. Lots more to come tonight from Foxwoods, including a new edition of the Season 10 Ones to Watch when the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com, continues.
Season 10 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
I'm Sinisa Kim, one of the Royal Flush Girls. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour.
I'm Jess here at day 1 of the Foxwoods World Poker Finals, and I'm here with Club WPT qualifier Michael Jamali. Now, how long have you been playing on Club WPT?
A few months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pretty, yes.
What prompted you to sign up?
To qualify for one of these events. Figured I could take them down, so I tried, and I did.
Now, I have to say, you know, sometimes people get a little nervous playing in a big buy-in event like this. You've been pretty active and seem right at home at the tables. How's it been for you so far?
Yeah, I feel pretty cool. I feel relaxed. I got nothing to lose, so I do. I'm planning to get in the money, but we'll see what happens.
Lucky player here.
Yeah.
Club WPT got you here. Now we're partying here at the Scorpion Bar. Having fun, right?
Life is good.
You ever think you'd win your seat?
That's why I joined in the seat. Honestly, you don't get anywhere unless you believe. No. So you got to believe.
Michael Jamali had a once-in-a-lifetime experience here at Foxwoods, and it could happen to you. You can get a VIP membership for $19.95 a month. Play all the poker you want on ClubWPT.com. You can win up to $100,000 per month in cash and prizes, as well as win seats in the WPT events.
That's right.
Playing on ClubWPT.com. Just like Michael Jamali did. So it could happen to you if you signed up today and joined ClubWPT.com.
Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. Well, let's get back down to the felt.
Well, with that last pot, Christian Harder has taken over the chip lead at this final table. And Vince, the book says never slow play your aces, re-raise them before the flop if you can stream down the field. Had Christian Harder done that there's a chance the doctor might have thrown the king-queen away, and he wouldn't have made nearly that much money. So obviously it does pay to slow play aces sometimes.
To get the books. Back to the table we go. A few folds around to Stephen Brackesy, the poker pro out of Waltham, Massachusetts.
Yeah, he hadn't played a hand yet at this final table, and here he comes in with a 5 deuce.
Yep.
He is in the small blind. Just raising it to try to pick up the blinds and antes.
Makes it 38,000, and now Daniel Santoro with just an 8-7 is going to invest a little bit more. Makes the call. Battle of the blinds, going at it. And the flop comes up 10-7-3. Santoro hitting a pair of 7s. Brackesy with nothing.
He's going to make the continuation bet.
Gonna bet 45,000 with nothing. Santoro getting a piece of that, and he's not going anywhere. He's going to make this call.
Doesn't want to re-raise and get raised out of the pot.
Here we go to the turn. 6 of clubs.
This does give Stephen a gut shot straight draw. A 4 would give him a straight, but that is all he can win the pot with.
Well, he's been very selective so far tonight. So he's hoping that his image at the table will win this pot. He's betting again, 105,000.
Well, obviously he can win the pot by betting the guy out of the pot, but that's not happening as Santoro makes the call here because he also has a straight draw now.
And a pair.
But the Jack of Hearts comes off, so neither player going to be happy to see that card.
Brackesy finally disillusioned, checking there.
Just waves the white flag. Cannot win the pot checking.
And Santoro checking as well. Brackesy finally getting involved. Unfortunately, things did not work out the way he wanted. He's a tough local pro here at Foxwoods. Taking a shot here, but not winning that one. And look at those three, Manny, Mo, and Mac there.
Well, the guy on the right is Alan Sternberg, a WPT champion from the Bay 101 tournament last year. He's here rooting on his buddy Santoro.
All right, back to the play. Bob Carboni first to play. Bob's going to look down at a 7-3 of hearts. Rejects that hand.
Over to the reigning WPT Player of the Year, Andy Frankenberger. Lays down the queen 9.
And now Stephen Brackesay with just a jack 10.
And he's going to raise it on the button to 40,000.
Raise to 40.
Daniel Santoro with a queen 9.
Well, he's a guy that likes to play a lot of pots. See what he's going to do with this hand.
Yep, he's in the small blind. You just don't want to be pickpocketed all the time, and he's going to make this call. Into Christian Harder, who folds his hand. So we have two-way action between Daniel and Steven. Here come the first three.
Now flop comes ace, king, 10 with 2 hearts.
Brackesay picking up a piece of that with the 10s. Daniel going to check.
Well, Brackesay checks behind him, even though he's got 2 10s in the straight draw.
7 on the turn, helping neither player.
Well, Santoro says, hey, this guy didn't bet on the flop. Maybe he's got a small pair. Maybe if I bet, I can take it away from him. And that's what he's going to do. Takes a stab at the pot. Bets the gut shot straight draw.
Yeah, 40,000.
Well, Brackesay's got the 2 10s and the straight draw. And he's going to make the call.
Wow, nice stubborn call by Brackesay.
3 of diamonds comes off.
No help for either player. Now will Daniel attempt one more bluff here? Nope.
He's going to check.
Queen high.
Brackesay checks as well. And Brackesay's going to be very proud of himself for calling with just 10s and taking down his pot.
So the former construction worker, Brackesay, adds to his toolbox.
There's a couple lucky guys at the Royal Flush Girls Social Bar enjoying the moment here tonight. Daniel Santoro.
Action's back on him. He looks down at ace, deuce of diamonds.
This young guy, 25 years old, likes to play a lot of pots.
I know that's all times.
And again, he's getting chips out.
Going to raise it under the gun here. Makes it 36,000 to go.
Christian out. The pawn shop man. Bob Carboni out. Andy not playing.
Well, Brackesay going to make the call here with the 3-4 hearts.
And here we go with the flop.
The flop comes 9-7-5 with 2 hearts. A gut shot straight flush draw for Brackesay. Nice flop for him. See how he plays it. Well, it looks like he's going to lead right out and bet here. Like most guys would check here. And the guy made a continuation bet, just opened the blade with this kind of draw. But Brackesay leading right out, and obviously this flop nowhere near hitting Santoro, so could be an easy getaway for him. He does lay it down, so Brackesay does pick up that pot.
Yep, he's a local. Plays only at Foxwoods. Never been to Las Vegas, and he is tough.
Well, my friends and family are excited that I'm here playing. They came out to support me, so I'm going to try to put on a good show for them.
Wow. My God, what a hand.
It's exciting. A little nervous. You know, I'm not going to sit back with my chips. I'm going to play.
Call.
Swing for the fence. I'm not trying to move up in the money. Go for it.
Well, you got to like Brackesay's attitude. He is going for it. And Vince, I don't think there's many poker pros in the world that have been a pro for 7 years like he has. It's never been to Las Vegas.
It's pretty incredible. 5 players remain going after big money here tonight at Foxwoods. Christian Harder first to act. Looks down at a jack 8 of diamonds. And he will raise, makes it 36,000 to go.
Well, he's the chip leader.
Bob Carboni right behind him.
The amateur pawnbroker. Going to get away from this hand.
Now Mr. Frankenberger. Whoa, big ace-king for Andy.
Well, just the kind of hand Andy's looking for right now. He's on the short stack with 5 players left. The question is, does he raise a little or does he raise a lot? Definitely going to raise.
He's got a gigantic hand, ace-king. He says all in.
Well, there's your answer. He's shipping it.
Brackesay out. Now Daniel Santoro also goes away. Will he get the action, though, from Christian?
300.
Who just has a jack 8 of diamonds.
Well, the WPT Player of the Year is not the guy you're looking to double up in this spot, so Harder going to fold the jack 8. And Andy Frankenberger's dreams of winning a second WPT title tonight are still alive.
There's a quick break in the action, but we've got more to come, including a new edition of the Season 10 Ones to Watch when the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com, continues. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. This season on the WPT, we're following the lives of 7 young poker players who we believe have the potential to become the next breakout star in poker. Now here at Foxwoods, we caught up with Dylan Horton, Ebony Kinney, and Doc Sands as each tries to make their way on the tournament trail in a segment we call Ones to Watch.
I love to grind. I'm a sick degenerate.
I made it to the final table.
I'm a ones to watch, so that should be interesting.
No. I think this year is my year.
I'll win one eventually. What was to watch?
Today is day 1 of Foxwoods main event.
I'm at Foxwoods for the WPT main event.
Happy to be here. Got a good turnout so far and a great table, so looking forward to a productive day 1.
Doc Sands is a good poker player who's transitioned into live really well.
Doc Sands, phenomenal player, aggressive, hungry, intelligent.
He has a great track record. I would peg him as one of those guys that's just capable of anything.
Doc's cutthroat when he's out there. Doc is one of the most intimidating players at the poker table.
He's kind of a sicko. He's one of those people that is constantly putting you to the test. There's never a sit back, relax, breathe easy moment with Doc.
And I'm definitely going to try to accumulate chips in these last 2 levels. I'm not playing to cash. I'm not playing to make day 3. I'm playing to win.
But he's also capable of just being very patient and just holding out for a really long period of time.